Hey guys, real quick before we get into the episode, don't forget to
like us on Facebook at facebook.com/HellaAverageGaming. Follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/HellaAverageGaming, average spelled AVG. Subscribe to us on YouTube.
Follow us on SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/HellaAverageGaming. Listen to us on Stitcher, check us out on iTunes, and make sure to listen to us on Google Play.
And with all that said and done, let's get to it.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Hella Average Gamescast. We are on episode 106. The games. I got games on the mind. I can't even get through my intro. The gang is all here. Jeremy and Carmin on the mics. What's up, fellas?
Jeremy's a full game. I'm just DLC.
Oh, $15.99.
Not even. $9.99.
What happened there is that we've spent this last few days immersed in E3, so game has been heard in my ears hundreds and hundreds of times. And that's the only word I could think of at that time. I apologize.
It's all good, man. How are you?
Man, I am good. The week is going great. I'm really excited to get in. This is going to be our E3 Extravaganza. How excited are you?
Yes, it was exciting, actually, to see E3 go off like it did, despite Sony not being there and the conference seeming a lot smaller. But there were some good things that came out of it.
It was a little weak this year, but we knew that was going to happen. It was a little soft. I gotta say that, overall though, for what we were expecting, pleasantly surprised.
I gotta say, my expectations were completely averted in both positive and negative ways. You know?
Perfect.
Yeah.
I think we all have some different views on it.
Yeah.
Well,
it's
not dying
somewhat.
yet.
It's
They've
not
renewed
dying
it for
yet.
2020.
Yes, they already gave their dates for next year, which is pretty cool. But keep it coming as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean?
Well, because you're like the hype beast.
I do. I love the show, man.
The whole show could be trash as fuck, and you'd be like, E3 was so fucking great.
That's just how I am. I love life. I love video games.
It's just 4 days of just the non-stop Just Dance Panda Bear going off.
Oh, we'll talk
Dude,
about the Panda Bear. Don't you worry. I got some notes on him.
Ugh.
But before we get into it, so let's give a little rundown. Let's do some housekeeping. We're going to go over what we've been playing like usual, because I know we got some gaming in. This whole week is going to be nothing but E3. So any news that comes this week not related to E3 is going to be put into next week's episode. So this week and next week should be 2 pretty packed episodes. So strap in, get comfortable when you're listening, because we got a lot of stuff coming at you. We're covering all the conferences here. We got detailed notes. We're going to go over some of the news that we've heard coming out of E3, some of the game impressions that they got hands-on with. So we got a lot going on, but let's let Carmin start us off. What have you been playing this week?
Well, I've been grinding on the Division pretty steadily. Rocket League, the Rocket Pass reset yesterday. So I've been grinding through that. I think I got 5 out of 6 challenges done in like 20 minutes. So this week's a breeze. I'm playing my Tippity Tap Titans. And I started playing a new mobile game called Auto Chess. And it's pretty interesting. You like build up different characters, spend coins. The matches take about 30 minutes to play all the way through. So it's a pretty in-depth game. I haven't figured it all out yet.
They actually talked about auto chess at one of the press conferences. So that's pretty cool that you're actually playing it.
Yeah, it came to mobile, and then I saw my good friend Javier, who did the intro music and outro music for Not a Box podcast. He said that it was live, so I decided to grab it, and then I'm dying to play against him, trying to give him that smoke.
Yeah, I actually heard really good things about it. Here's a pretty fun game.
Yeah, check it out. I mean, it's a good time-consuming game. Like, I mean, you'll be playing for at least a half hour.
Is it just on mobile right now, or is it going to launch on other platforms?
I'm not sure. I just saw where he said it was on mobile, so I just jumped on it.
Perfect. So
we'd have to go down the Google pipeline to see if it's going anywhere else.
So a new mobile game to take your attention, huh?
Yeah, no, it's fun. I played on my lunch break, like, while I was doing the dishes. So, like, I'd put a few dishes in the dishwasher, I'd make my moves, I'd let the game do what it had to do, and then I came back to it.
Very cool. And Auto Chess is on Microsoft Windows, Linux, and mobile.
There we go. So it's everywhere. It
How about
doesn't seem to, it has a battle pass built in, but it doesn't have like a pay to win mechanism. You literally have access to everything. It's not like I have to build up a deck of cards to try to work on. It's like random rolls, it's kind of deck building, but without having to buy the cards.
Very cool, very cool. Yeah, it looked really fun when I was looking at it. Never heard of it until the conference it came. I think it was PC it was on, but I never heard of it at that point. I was like, actually, I remember that one sticking out in my head as being a pretty cool one.
Yeah, so put your thumbs on your phone and get on it.
How's the Division grind been going?
The Division grind's been pretty good. Just trying to find better gear and get some better rolls on things. I have some fucked up talents on some of my gear that I just don't want. And the stuff I'm getting now has been better, but it's still not great. It's like I'm building a restoration elite killer build, so I kind of want to see what else I can get. But it's like the gear I have is like super optimized for killing elites, so it's hard for me to like stray away from it and then have to rebuild. So I got to get over that.
Yeah, I'm in the same spot, just trying to find gear that makes my build better. So that's where we're kind of both are in the Division right now.
Yeah.
Anything else? Anything else have been on your consoles or in your hands since we last spoke?
Nope. I've been thinking about picking up Cuphead again, but I haven't gone back.
Got a little itch for it?
Yeah, I just want to play my Switch.
Well, if you buy a Tesla, you can go play Cuphead.
Well, if you buy me a Tesla, I'll play Cuphead on it.
Well, if I buy a Tesla, we can play together.
That was a cool interview, man. That was so cool. You guys didn't watch it at all?
I didn't know, no. So you're referring to the Elon Musk interview at E3, right?
Yeah, with, what's his name? Why can't I think of it? He's head of Bethesda.
Oh, Todd Howard.
Yeah, Todd Howard. Yeah, it was a cool little interview that they had together.
So
with,
what were some of the stuff they discussed there?
They were just like mainly talking about, like how like they basically were making a comparison between, like what Elon Musk does with all his engineering stuff and then how that can relate to video games. And he's a video game fan, and in the past he's created video games like when he was a teenager and different things. And so like they were talking about AI and how it applies to, all the things that he does at Tesla and with SpaceX and all of that, and how some of that translates over into video games. And it was cool. I like Elon Musk a lot.
Too, he's a mad genius of sorts. A modern day, a modern day Tesla, I guess.
Yeah, so he made some jokes about how if the simulations get so good in video games that like you can't decipher between real life and that, and then he was going into that a bit, and then he was like, we might be in a simulation right now. Whose avatar are you?
Oh, the Matrix
God.
again.
Here we go.
Yeah,
it's like, yeah, but I mean, hey, he smokes weed one time with Joe Rogan, and then it's on.
Yeah. So.
Pretty cool. I'm glad you caught that interview. I didn't even think to catch it. I heard about it. I didn't even think about it. And you said that. I was like, oh, that is pretty cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Jeremy, what about you, buddy? What have you been playing since we spoke last?
I have not been playing anything nearly as exciting as Tap Titans or, what was it, Battle Chess or whatever it's called?
Auto Chess.
Auto Chess, yeah. All I did was just pick up Sekiro Shadows Die Twice.
Aha, you caved in.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us about it.
I picked it up probably 2 days ago, so I haven't had too much time to play it with work and all. But I played for a couple hours. Guess how many times I've died?
20.
Nope.
Well, none.
What? Once.
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah. And it was only because I didn't know how deflecting worked. I was pressing the wrong button. And then as soon as I learned how to deflect, I've just been slaying monsters left and right. These fucking ninjas and shit. Like, it's... This was one I was afraid to pick up because I wasn't sure if I was going to like it as much as Bloodborne and Dark Souls. But I am loving it so far.
Nice. Very cool.
Yes. It is... It's so weird because everything they said is true. It plays a lot like the Souls games, but you can't play it like a Souls game. There's no stamina bar, so you can just attack to your heart's content. But instead, you have what's called a posture bar, and every time you block an attack, it fills up. And if it fills up all the way, you get staggered, and you can be insta killed if you're not careful. But you can also do that to your enemies too. So you kind of just want to be really aggressive and keep attacking. But harder enemies, you'll have to deflect. You'll have to hit that guard button as soon as they hit you, and you'll deflect their attack away and just do a ton of damage to their posture bar, and then you can get an insta-kill. That's pretty much what this all is. You don't really wear enemies down. You just wear their posture bar down and then insta-kill them, which is really cool. There's no... Leveling up is really different in this game in that you can't just go around and kill a bunch of enemies and get experience and level up, increase your stats, but instead you only level up after beating bosses. But you do get skill points from beating enemies, which you can use to buy new techniques. But I haven't apparently unlocked the ability to buy new techniques yet. I got my prosthetic arm, so I now have a grappling hook, and I just got a part that allows me to like shoot shurikens out of it, which is pretty sweet. Game's real stealthy. The main character called Wolf, he moves a lot faster than the other Souls games. He can run, he can actually jump. There's a lot of platforming. There's a lot of going up on top of buildings and going for that stealth kill. Story so far, I can't make too much out of it. Just the most basic I can understand is that he's in service to like this 11-year-old, I guess, prince or something like that, and he's supposed to protect him. And sure enough, like the prince gets kidnapped, and he gets his arm cut off in the line of duty, and so now he has to get him back because apparently the guys who kidnapped him want him for some kind of ritual or some shit. That game looks gorgeous. I've been playing it in Japanese just for that authentic feeling, and I'm definitely itching to get back in it. So I got tomorrow off. I'll probably play it all day tomorrow. See how far I can get.
Very nice. So early impressions are really, really good. Worth the pick up at 50.
Yeah, this is probably going to be a game of the year for me. Where on the list, I'm not sure, but it's definitely probably going to be in there.
I don't plan to be too far behind you playing it, honestly.
It's good. It's going to be interesting if you'll be able to, because you do need... I know you're not a big fan of stealth, and you really need to be stealthy in this. This is not a game that rewards you just jumping in, because I actually had that happen. I thought I stealth killed a guy and got spotted, and before I knew it, I was surrounded by like 5 guys... and 2 gunmen, and this dude with a giant fucking hammer, and I was like, nope, run away.
I like stealth games. I really enjoy like Dishonored and Styx, stuff like that.
Okay.
But I haven't got pulled into a Souls-style game. I know you said it's a little different, so This might be just different enough for me to enjoy it.
This is really, like I said, though, this is the hardest of the Souls games I've played, I think. Like, I think Dark Souls was the easiest, then Bloodborne, and then this. Because this is one where you have to be precise. You got to know exactly when to block, when to deflect, when to dodge. You got to actually really pay attention to your enemies. Because I was fighting a little mini boss, and you really have to like telegraph like if he's going to do a sweep attack. Is he going to do a lunge? Is he going to do an overhead slice? Is he going to like back off and try and heal? I just barely beat him. I had that like, that little sliver of health where it's so small you can barely see it on your bar. You think you're dead.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had that, and I just barely won. I was like, woo! Oh, it felt so good.
Very nice. Good pickup. And you kept it secret from us. I can't believe you sneaky little snake.
I wanted to say something. I was like, nah, I'm going to surprise him on the show.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool. So that took up most of your time?
Yeah, I just played a little bit of Switch here and there, but nothing spectacular. Just popped it and played like 5 minutes or something, and that was it. Very
nice. Very nice. I didn't play a lot of it. I played The Division, and that's really it. Got some grinding in. I got Fallout 76 downloaded when Bethesda did their press conference this whole week. Fallout 76 is free, and the new Battle Royale mode is free. So I'm going to maybe jump into that tonight after the podcast, depending on how long this bitch runs. We got a lot of stuff to go over, but I've been definitely going to try to jump into that. And if I like it, I might just pick it up. So we'll see.
Wow.
We'll see.
Wow.
Well, just to circle back, not to interrupt you, since you brought up Fallout 76, I turned the game on. It requires you to exit the shelter before you can try to play the Battle Royale mode. And let me tell you, this game is fucking jank.
Say it's janky?
Oh, it's so janky.
Oh.
All right, so Jeremy, I'm going to just ask you a question.
Okay.
And I just want you to tell me, just give me the straight answer.
Yeah.
All right, so if you have a form where you need to sign in on the PlayStation... Okay. If I wanted you to be able to enter text into that, which button would you press first?
Like to confirm?
No, to like... Alright, so you move your cursor to the field. What button do you press now?
I press the cross button.
Okay, so that moves you. Alright, and then what?
Then I
want you to pull up the keyboard.
Like right now?
No.
I'm like...
You're on your PlayStation. You have your controller in your hand.
Okay.
You navigate to a field with the D-pad.
Okay.
Which button would you press next?
I press the X button to confirm.
Okay, well, that doesn't work in Fallout 76. You have to press the
Oh.
R1 button.
What?
Yeah, so the game has... I could see why the game's a fucking flop. It's designed terribly.
Jesus Christ. What is
And
this?
that's just one of many.
What is this world?
You're in the vault. It doesn't tell you where shit is. It doesn't give you any indicators as to what you need to grab. Please, spare me.
I come from a time where we only had 2 buttons on the NES controller, and if they flip-flopped the jump button, it was just like, it was anarchy. It's like I was like, A jumps, not B. You're telling me R1 enters? Fuck you.
Yeah, so like they use R1 to enter into things.
I'm lowering...
And the game doesn't even look that good.
I'm lowering Bethesda's score by 3 points, Cam.
Just for the R1, huh?
Just for the R1.
So it's poorly designed. I'm gonna try the battle. I'm gonna play one game of the battle royale. I'm just gonna play one and then I'm deleting it. It's fucking 67 gigs of pure fucking
Cancer.
piss.
Yeah.
All because of R1.
No, just because it's a dumb design.
Can you remap the control buttons?
Can you remap the control buttons before you even get in the game? No.
Okay. We'll see. I'll jump on.
It's a
I'll give
menu
my
where you
opinion
have to
next
sign
week.
into your Bethesda account. Do you know your
gotcha.
login?
I don't. Yeah, I'm sure I do. I can figure it out.
So yeah, like I had to reset my password. You can't get in without it. Pain in the ass. And the game it doesn't even look good.
I'll play and then I'll get my thoughts on it next week. I do know that Shroud jumped in and like killed like half the people on the battle royale. Like just raged on it. It's hilarious.
I can see Cam's review now. Man, that game was fucking terrible. It was the worst Bethesda game ever played. I'm getting my lowest score ever.
He's gonna love it, Jeremy.
I'm getting my lowest score ever of 6 out of 10.
He's gonna buy it.
6 out of 10. I'm only buying it 3 times. And then all the DLC. And then I'm only spending about $50 on in-game currency a day. That's it. No more.
You know me too well, both of you.
He's gonna buy he's gonna be like, it's on sale, man. It was only $29.99. It's
Michelle-
shitty, but it ain't that shitty.
Michelle got it for me, so technically I didn't buy it.
Yeah, don't use her credit card.
I'm not. But yeah, I'll talk about it next week. I'll get some time in on it. I'm sure me and Carmen will end up playing it together.
You hear him giggling? Like, you hear that giggle in his voice, Jeremy?
Yeah, he's like, I know, I'm getting
He
it.
knows.
I know.
Got a rep, man. I got a rep.
Yeah, they got a rep.
So, I think let's jump into it. Let's just go. You ready?
Let's go.
All right, we're jumping
ready?
into some E3.
All right. We don't even have news to talk about. We're going straight into E3. Fuck it. Let's kick it off with Carmin. He wasn't with us last week, but when we recorded last week, we recorded after EA Play happened. So that was the first event of all these conferences. So let's get Carmin's input on what EA Play was, what he thought about it, highlights, etc. Go ahead, Carmin. Let us know what you thought.
All right, so they opened up with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which the game looked pretty good, in my opinion, for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's bland, but it's a good. It looks authentic Star Wars, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
For what it offers. You know, you have the Force, you have your lightsabers, you're a Jedi, so on and so forth. I think the game will do well. I think they need to make sure that the story is robust. I believe that was one of the best things that EA showed. I'm gonna keep this super short.
Oh yeah.
Apex Legends. It's a great game. I'm not sure about this new character and all of this stuff. It was just meh. Like, just give us more. Like, if you're gonna say that you're doing a whole lot, I want you to bring me, multiple game modes, special events, things like that. So Apex has potential. I was kind of excited about the FIFA announcements where they put like FIFA Street back into it. I can't remember exactly what it was called. Let me see. I have the article here. Volta Football. So which was
And that's just like the street football.
Yeah, they're basically putting in like FIFA Street. So that should be super fun. I bet that will be an interesting mode to play. Madden is Madden. They talked about The Sims 4. The Sims to me has gone and passed. It was a craze back in the early 90s, early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, sorry. And then Battlefield 5, which to me was one of the weakest things they showed. Almost weaker than Madden, to be honest. I don't think Battlefield just doesn't appeal to me, and it didn't. The new maps didn't look great. What they were telling me didn't sound great. They're using what is a big game and trying to make some concise maps, and that's just not what the game. It doesn't breed that, in my opinion. And so, all in all, EA had just a very mediocre EA showing, per usual.
I agree.
Really
I
salty.
agree.
Yeah, I agree too.
Star Wars took the show.
Yep.
Yeah, no, Star Wars was the best thing they showed, followed by FIFA Volta.
Star Wars is the only thing they showed I cared about. But yeah, I agree.
As far as The Sims goes, it was so mad that I forgot to even put it on my list. So, you know.
Yeah, no, I mean, The Sims have gone and passed.
So, EA hit, and I mean, there's a little cool stuff here and there, but the meat of E3, everybody knows is going to be your big developers, your big companies, Microsoft, Nintendo. So let's get into it. The next press conference, that came up was Microsoft. They showed 60 games, 14 games. Yep, that's what they said. I didn't count them, but that's what they said. 14 games from Xbox Game Studios, and 34 games were premiering on Game Pass. So they started out with a new game by Ninja Theory. It's called Bleeding Edge, and it's 4x4 arena combat.
Looks neat.
So,
yeah.
Ninja Theory is known for that.
They're known for, I think it was Heavenly Sword, DMC.
Sword. Yeah.
They've done some good stuff. They're kind of hit and miss in my opinion.
What I remember about this one, they had some cool character designs in these. They stood out pretty well, if I remember correctly.
They were very Overwatch-like, I think.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of Overwatch. Yeah. I enjoyed the look of it, and I think Ninja Theory is a fairly good studio, so that was cool. They opened up with that. Carmin, do you have anything on that one? Did you see anything you liked, or just kind of look kind of generic to you?
I didn't actually see that. I didn't get into the conference until I left dinner, so I didn't see the beginning. So I'll take your guys' word on Ninja Theory. 4v4 arena combat sounds good, just from a high level.
More Star Wars. We saw a little bit more. It's not a lot of gameplay. We saw more trailers, really. It's coming in November this year, so it's launching this year, which is pretty cool. And again, I think we discussed a little bit last week. It feels like Star Wars Uncharted. I mean, that's the feel we're getting.
Oh, yeah. It looked very, especially when they're climbing like the ledges and stuff, super Uncharted.
Yeah, but it's cool. I mean, it's canon, so you see a lot of the characters that are actually in the Star Wars lore, so that's pretty cool.
And it's honestly like what they need to do. They need to redeem themselves on Star Wars.
I agree.
They just need to make a single player experience, start to finish, and leave it at that.
I'd agree fully. Let's do a single player game and let's go with it. They haven't done that in too long. So that came up next. Next thing we saw was a world premiere for. It started out, I was like, "Oh, this is a fucking horror game. This is gonna be cool." Then it kept going. It's a fucking Blair Witch video game. It's coming out in August.
So I didn't see that either. So please give me some insight. Are we like filming the show? Or?
No,
yeah, it's like it seemed like a first person. You're going through this. You're looking for clues. You're trying to solve this. There's like a house there that's super dark looking. You've got that first person like shine a light on stuff type feel. They're going for a creep factor, but it just didn't hit me. And Jeremy, I know you like scary games a little bit more than I do, so I don't know what you thought about it.
Like, did you ever play that see that Slender game that?
The Slender Man game or whatever.
It was very much just like a more expensive version of that. Like, it looks like something's gonna get really old real quick. Like, I think they're just trying to like this. I don't know. It doesn't do a thing for me. People don't care about.
Is it more like a walking sim, like
no,
walking sim Sherlock Holmes, like point and click type thing?
No, I think there's like actual death states and stuff. Like, there look like there were creatures there that could get you. But it looks like it's like one of those where like you have to go around and find all the clues and probably escape, and that's about it.
Yeah, they didn't show a lot of gameplay, but that's the vibe I got. You're going around, you're looking for clues, probably trying to solve this, and there might be stuff that can get you in the world. Really tongue in cheek, if you ask me. They're playing on that first person dark screen horror type genre. I just think this is a few years too late, right? Like,
oh yeah,
you
definitely.
Know, it came out of nowhere.
A few.
couple decades.
I was a fucking child when the Blair Witch came
I know,
out. Like,
yeah.
We don't need a game. The movie was bad enough.
Ooh.
For its time, though, it got pretty good reviews, didn't it?
Well, it was like the first found footage film, so it was kind of a pioneer.
Nowadays, it'd be like a mediocre-ass movie, if that, right?
Just like every other found footage film. Hey.
Hey.
Air quote, found footage.
Next up was probably the best part of Microsoft's conference. We saw some Cyberpunk. There wasn't any gameplay in this. It was a lot of CGI trailer, and if there was gameplay, it was very, very little. And all of a sudden, they show this new character, and they pan up from his feet all the way to his face, and it's fucking Keanu Reeves, right?
Keanu!
And the crowd goes wild. All of a sudden, you got fog on the stage, lights coming up, and Keanu Reeves walks out on the fucking stage. He's there at E3. I haven't seen a crowd go this crazy at E3 in years. It's crazy. This is literally the best point of E3, in my opinion, the whole show. Keanu on stage at Microsoft was just amazing.
See, dude, I'd have been cheering too, just because I love Keanu. I give a shit about this game, but just Keanu's the fucking man.
He's killing it. I mean, he came back hard. He's got this John Wick franchise that's doing fantastic. He's making his way into video games, about to do another Bill and Ted. He's all over the internet. He's like the internet's golden child right now.
He really is.
So he came out. One of the guys in the front row or the back few rows was like, "You're breathtaking," and he literally points at the guy and says, "You're breathtaking." And they give this guy a free game of Cyberpunk 2077. How cool is that?
I already turned it down, actually.
He did. He turned it down for charity.
Yeah. That's good for him. That's good. That's nice of him, though. Pay it forward.
Yeah, so Keanu gives a little speech, points back up to the screen. I bet you know when you want to play. Well, take a look. April 2020, Cyberpunk is launching.
Does it give you any worry that they didn't show gameplay and they are expecting the game in around 10 months?
I was going to say the same thing. Like, I'm sure this game's going to be great. Like, CD Projekt Red seems to do good work.
Oh, yeah.
But it's been this development for this long. It's this far out. Have they even shown gameplay of it yet? All?
They did not. As to my knowledge, they showed little gameplay, but at their booth at E3, especially with the press, you could get hands-on for an hour. So, they had at least an hour's worth of gameplay. So people had 60-minute gameplay, and they're obviously writing articles based on that. But everything I'm seeing surrounding this game is nothing but good. Gameplay-wise, story-wise, the hype is really big on this game.
That's fine and all, but like I said, that's why I don't get into hype. Like it really concerns me that there's no gameplay. Like, if there was something really good gameplay-wise, they would have shown it. CGI trailers are cool and all, but it's good for, like, a first reveal. This thing's been in development for, like, 2 years now? 3 years?
Oh, longer than that. I mean, we've only known about it for 3 years, I think.
And nothing. Like, even Final Fantasy has some fucking gameplay footage a couple years back. And we still haven't seen anything from this. I don't know, man. Like, I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure it'll be great, but it's just not reassuring. This far along, there's still no gameplay.
I don't have any answers because I haven't read any of the articles of people who actually got hands-on with it at the booth. So I'm not sure. I just know, generally speaking, it's getting good buzz.
Well, yeah, but
I'll be anxious to hear what people are saying once they got hands-on. I've always been excited for this game, but I've saw Dustin Legary, he's one of the big gaming journalists. He said this puts him in mind of Deus Ex, a better Deus Ex, and that concerns me.
Well, it's very Deus Ex in its presentation, its story, its themes. But I don't think this. I don't think this is going to be a stealth game though, like Deus Ex.
I hope not.
No.
We'll see, but I honestly I don't know what the gameplay is on it. I assume it's.
There you go. You're excited, but you have no idea what the game's even like.
Yeah. I mean, all my excitement's based on the world. This noir, BattleTech, humans being enhanced ideas, kind of cool. But the reason I hate Deus Ex so much was the gameplay, not necessarily the story. I enjoy that story where it's like a future and cybernetic enhancement, things like that. I do enjoy that. But I mean, if this game is honestly probably the most hyped game at E3 as far as people want to play it.
I think so. I think I get behind that, yeah.
So, as more news comes out about it, we'll talk about it, obviously, because it's going to be one of the big ones. But yeah, so once we saw that, we saw a release date, which I'm pretty sure that was the first time we've seen a release date. Then they followed it up with Battletoads, Jeremy.
Ugh.
And you seem to be the only one that dislikes, out of
Dude,
us at least, you just didn't
well,
like it.
Out of us maybe, but go to look at the YouTube trailer. It's been downvoted to hell.
Has it?
Oh yeah. Like, dude, it's just that it looks cheap. Like, I was really hoping that they were gonna actually make a full game. This is like it's gonna be like it looks like a $10 budget download title. I hate the art style. I hate the fucking animations in it. It just looks so lazy. And I love the original Battletoads on NES. I love the old arcade game. You know, I like the Super Nintendo game. But this just looks bad. Just bad. Like, I don't have an Xbox, but it was when it was first announced, I was like, man, this is like another Cuphead. Like, I wish I had an Xbox for this. And now after looking at it, I'm like, God, I'm so glad I don't have an Xbox. Fuck this game.
I just don't think they could get too far away from the look from the Nintendo.
But the Nintendo one looked better than this. Like, if you look at the arcade version, it's much more adult-oriented. There's actually, like, blood, there's guts, there's explosions.
Yeah, no, it definitely looks childlike. I'm not going to get past that.
Oh, yeah. But, like,
I just don't think they wanted to venture too far off of that.
I was hoping, like, they were going to do like they did with Killer Instinct, because they did a good job updating Killer Instinct. Yeah. And I'm not a fan of this art style at all. Like, I don't think they should have gone for the 2D. I think they should have gone for, like, actual, like, 3D models and stuff. Put some budget into it.
See, I think 3D modeling would hurt it. I think if they went too realistic, then the game it's too far away from its natural form.
No, man, because they had Rash in Killer Instinct, and they had realistic graphics. He looked fucking awesome. And like I said, the original was actually fairly realistic looking.
3D fighter. This is a 2D side scroller.
Yeah, but you can still have those 3D sprites like style in that game.
I like the art style, but don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, Battletoads was a game I played and picked up, and then it was like, I can't beat this fucking game. It's too hard.
I've never beat it. No. It's
I mean, I think it looks good, but the style they're going for, I think they were intending to go for that style. I don't think it's cheap. I think that's the look they were going for.
No, I never said it wasn't intended. I just think it looks terrible.
You don't like it. Okay.
No. That's what I said. It does look cheap, but that doesn't mean they didn't intend for it to look that way. Someone thinks it looks good, and that's fine. I think it looks cheap. I think it looks like crap.
The make or break for me on this game will be the gameplay.
I'm sure it's going to be like... This is why I don't like it so much. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of that shitty Power Rangers side-scrolling beat-em-up they released a couple years back. Remember that?
Yeah. For the movie, right? Was it for the movie or right around the movie?
It was around the movie time, but it was just so crappy. And that's the vibe I'm getting from this. It has that same cheap animation. And I just, like, this looks like something that you kind of get bored with real quick. You know, again, I hope I'm wrong. I hope it turns out to be great. But I'm not even remotely excited for this anymore.
Might be worth cutting my Xbox on just to see how it plays.
Go for it, yeah. And hey, I'd be willing to play it on the show if you get it. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's coming to Games Pass, so I can get Games Pass. And,
there you go.
You know. But after that, you know, that was really kind of a small spot for them. It didn't last too long. Then they hit a sizzle reel, and I can't type that fast for those sizzle reels. But obviously, they showed a lot of their games that are coming in the future. A lot of indies mixed with a few AAAs that we already knew about. And then they kind of switched the feel of the show up. They started talking about their Games Pass for PC. They announced. So right now, there's over 100 games for the PC Games Pass. And obviously they included the Master Chief Collection in that one. And they announced that Game Pass Ultimate. So that Game Pass Ultimate comes with the original Game Pass on the Xbox, your Games with Gold, and Games Pass on the PC. So for $15 a month, you can get Games Pass and your Games with Gold on all Microsoft or Windows platforms. I mean, I guess it's pretty cool. And then for I don't think it's still going on. It may be, but you could get the Games Pass for $1, and a lot of people were going on, and it kind of, the way that they were making it work, like people didn't have to renew their Games Pass for 2 years because it did something weird with the cost of it. But yeah, I mean, they did a hell of a deal there for an E3 exclusive.
I think it's pretty cool that they're expanding out to the PC. I'm not sure if it's much. I mean, it's a deal at $14.99, but that's pretty costly.
It does get costly. I mean, you're looking at what, $180 a month, something like that. And
$180
a year.
A year.
It was $180 a month. Hang it up, Xbox.
Yeah. $180 a year. And from what I can tell, so obviously, they brought the Master Chief to PC, but the games they announced for the PC, they're like games like Football Manager and something else. I don't know if they've got a really diverse and deep library on the PC yet.
Well, you got to remember that Football Manager, that game is very popular amongst a lot of people.
Right. I mean, I agree.
I have no interest, but I know a lot of people that play it. So it's like that's a big one to be coming over.
And I guess, I mean, the Master Chief Collection is, it is amazing. So all the Halo content there, that's pretty cool. So, I mean, yeah, I think it's a good deal because you get a little bit of everything if you're a big Microsoft player. So good for them. I like that. After they switched off that, they showed the world premiere for Flight Simulator, and that game looked amazing. I mean, I'm not a Flight Simulator guy, but that has some of the best graphics in any game I saw at E3.
That was the best looking game at E3 in terms of graphic fidelity.
Yeah, it looked really cool. It actually surprised me how good it looked. I'm not going to jump in a Boeing 747 and start piloting anytime soon, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. As soon as I saw it, like the trailer started, I was like, it's going to be Flight Simulator. I know it's going to be Flight Simulator. And then when the ship popped up, I was like, nailed it.
And they did away with Flight Simulator for a little while, didn't they? I think somebody bought it and they stopped doing it. I can't. It was gone away for a little while, I'm pretty sure. They followed that up with Age of Empires 2 to the Definitive Edition, fully remastered. All new campaign is coming this fall. So that was pretty cool. Age of Empires 2 is probably the best game in that whole series. They showed, and I'm going to go over give you a deep dive into some of my notes here. The next thing we saw was Wasteland 3, and I put meh beside it. It didn't really do anything for me. Do you remember that one, Carm?
Yeah. I was in the show at that point.
Did that?
It was just all right. It didn't pique my interest any.
What about you, Jerry Bear? You remember that one?
It was a waste, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
After that, we saw Xbox partnered. They didn't purchase. They partnered with Double Fine Studios, now part of the Xbox team. So expect some content there. And then to celebrate their new partnership, they showed us some Psychonauts 2. And again, I put meh beside it.
Yeah, that's. I didn't like Psychonauts 1. I thought it was pretty overrated platformer. But I know a lot of people love that game, so a lot of people are going to be real excited for this. So I think that was a good move by them.
I agree. It's got like a cult following, I would say.
Yes, very much a cult following.
After that, we saw the world premiere for Star Wars Legos, the Star Wars collection. Looked pretty cool. Those Legos games tend to be well received. I mean, they're great for kids.
Oh, yeah,
obviously.
They do. I look at those Legos games like I'd rather just play the actual licensed property.
I agree. I tend to agree. We saw the Dragon Ball Project, was it Kakarot RPG?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks cool.
It does look pretty cool. It's coming out early 2020 as of right now, but there wasn't a whole lot in that trailer. It was mostly just a CGI trailer.
They did have a gameplay trailer pop up. I watched some of it.
I didn't see the gameplay. How did it look?
It looked pretty good, but nothing spectacular. Like this might be something I wait a little bit on. It looks like they're just doing the same thing where you go through the story and all that. There was an overworld where you could fly around. Gameplay, it looked very Xenoverse to me.
I was gonna say that. It looks like Xenoverse.
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be maybe smoother, but could be okay.
I wonder how much RPG elements they're gonna actually put in it.
Probably Xenoverse levels, maybe. Just level up your ki and your HP and all that stuff. It'd be cool if you could like learn new moves, maybe. You know.
Yeah. I think they just need to do Dragon Ball in like an MMO format where like you have these quests and you learn these things and you do all this stuff, but maybe in a single player experience.
I'd like another game like Attack of the Saiyans on the 3DS. Where it was just like a turn-based RPG. That was really good, but it's really expensive.
I never played that. I never heard of it.
I'm sorry, it was a DS. Oh, look it up if you get a chance. It's really cool looking. But just a cartridge of it costs like $100. It's out of print.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but it's pretty sweet.
Next, and this one actually piqued my interest a little bit. World premiere of 12 minutes. They call this an interactive trailer, but what piqued my interest is the story. So it's like two people sitting in an apartment. It's like indie level graphic, not a huge graphical game, but the guy's like, I've been here before. There's somebody about to knock on this door. You got to tell me right now, yada, yada, yada. And if somebody knocks on the door and kills them, and then they show all these different scenarios where he comes back. So there's something happening that you got to keep reliving this 12 minutes and figure it out. So that was kind of a cool little reprieve from what I'm used to seeing. So I really enjoyed that. I mean, that piqued my interest. I'll put it that way.
This sounds like one of those, like, there's been a couple games like this where they're just basically interactive videos. Like, these were big on the Sega CD, and they don't do a thing for me. They're very limited what you can do. They're kind of thing where, like, you're better off just watching someone play this on YouTube because you get the whole fucking feel.
I got you. They did call us an interactive trailer, so, or an interactive movie, essentially.
Yeah, so that does nothing for me.
Mostly the story I enjoy. I thought it was kind of cool, so I want to keep an eye out for that one, see what comes of it. Next, we saw Way of the Woods, and it's just one of those artistic indie games. I couldn't figure out what it was about. That really, you know what I'm talking about, that really stylistic, artistic type style. Very abstract, in my opinion. So we saw that. Then we saw Gears 5, Bound by Blood.
Which, correct me if I'm wrong, that comes out in September, right?
September 10th, and if you pre-order, you get a Terminator skin.
But we didn't even show any gameplay. It was all CG.
Yeah, and they showed the escape game mode, which was also, for the most part, CG.
See, again, like, this game comes out in a couple months, and not even a single actual, gameplay footage.
It should scare you.
Exactly. I'm sure it'll be fine, though. It'll be good, but...
It'll be Gears.
It'll be Gears.
It'll be Gears good.
Now, the trailer they showed for Gears is one of the coolest trailers I've ever seen.
It was.
Oh, yeah.
The girl sitting there, like, all the faces coming out. That was one of the coolest things I've seen. That guy should get a raise. Or that girl should get a raise. That person should get a fucking raise.
But I will take gameplay footage over CGI any day. I want to see what the game actually looks like, how it's going to play.
I got you. I'm right there with you. I mean, the trailers are cool. It's cool to see what the story is or what's happening, but I like seeing gameplay as well. So they show that new 3-player mode. Then we got to take a look at the new Xbox Elite Wireless Series 2 controller. The next iteration of the Xbox Elite controller looks really good. It's got your paddles. It's got your tensioning. You can lower and increase the tension on your joysticks. Looks really crispy, really fucking clean. Great looking controller, man. It looked really good.
I mean, it's hard to argue with the Xbox controller. It's one of the best out. I think it's right up there at the top with the Pro controller for the Switch. So
$180 though.
Yep,
$180 for my scuff.
Jesus.
The price doesn't scare me because I know that the controller would feel great if I had an Xbox. I would buy one.
Yeah, I mean, it looks good. It really does.
That's just too much money. I mean, no, I'm sure it's a fantastic controller. That's just way too rich for my blood.
I mean, we each have our vices.
Oh yes. I have 2 very big vices behind me. Yeah.
Dying Light 2, we saw a little bit more of. Spring 2020 is coming out. Again, not a lot of gameplay. That's an overall arcing theme here, so we're going to say it a lot, but there really wasn't a lot of gameplay. I don't know if they were doing it in the booths for the actual E3 conference or what's going on, but we didn't see a lot of gameplay, extended gameplay for some of these games.
They saved that for the media.
The thing is, man, the companies really need to start showing this to the consumer who's going to buy your game. Show us some gameplay so we know what we're getting.
Oh, yeah. Once again, though, spring 2020, not a lot of gameplay. What you're saying is going to be a repeating thing. We're either going to say there's not a lot of gameplay or world premiere.
Exactly. Speaking of world premiere, Forza Horizon 4, Lego Speed Champion DLC. So that's right, Legos is coming to Forza Horizon, and they had a sick-ass McLaren out there made of Legos. That was pretty cool, I'm not going to lie. They actually brought a real car out there.
That's neat. Yeah, that's neat.
I thought it was sick. I like the Lego crossover for Forza.
I think it's kind of cool because it's a very realistic racing game, and then this is, of course, Legos, so it sticks out. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's going to, lighten up the mood of Forza.
Like if I had Forza, I would probably download that just because it's funny.
It would probably bring you back to it because I could see you getting very tired of a realistic racer, Jeremy. But you'd be like, "Oh shit, Legos are coming. Let me go drive for an hour," and then you.
That'd be the only car. That'd be the only car I ever drive in.
The Lego. I think you put that Lego name on anything, and it kind of brings a new life to it.
Well,
I think it lightens up the mood.
Yeah.
It works only on like serious shit. Like if they did like Lego version of Resident Evil 2 or something, that'd be hilarious.
That would be
That
really
would be
fucking cool.
awesome. They need to do that.
But I'm not talking about like the whole thing is Lego. I mean like it's super hyper realistic, but like Claire's made of Legos. You know, Biter red Legos comes out. That'd be
Play the whole
hilarious.
game in Legos, honestly.
We saw the Gears Pop mobile game next.
Oh, that thing looks fucking terrible.
I think it looks awesome.
It was cute, man. It was cute. They killed the boss with fucking kittens, a box of kittens. So I mean, that's pretty funny.
Ugh.
What do you expect? I mean, that's aimed directly at kids.
That's aimed directly at Carm. It's Gears. It's a mobile game. And
I don't like
Pops.
Gears. I'm not that big of a Gears fan, but I just like the Pops. I just like the way that they animated them and all that.
I was gonna say, 'cause you like Pops, you like mobile games. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably looking at 40 Pops right now.
Woo! I got maybe like 10.
I don't even want to count mine. I'm in the 20 to 30 range.
Yeah, get in there.
After that, and I would like to put my 2 cents in. That looks like a game Carmen should play. But we saw State of Decay 2, a Heartland DLC, brand new story experience, and I really didn't know that this game was still, really getting a player base like that. But apparently it is. It's still getting supported, so good for them. I don't really play State of Decay. Have y'all played it?
Nope.
Okay. So I don't have much more beyond that. You got a whole new story experience coming, so that's awesome. Finally, after 90 years, Phantasy Star 2, or Phantasy Star Online 2, is coming to the Xbox One.
I was gonna say, are you excited for that, Cam?
Yeah. No, I really actually enjoyed Phantasy Star Online, and now this might be the one thing I play on my Xbox.
There you go.
I've never played Phantasy Star Online 2. I know it's extremely fucking popular over in Japan, and I'm actually pretty excited. That was actually a really pleasant surprise to hear it's finally coming, not only to the West, but to console as well.
That could be that RPG that you were Scratch you were looking for.
That would be the one. That would be the mean RPG grind Scratch. So we'll see. It's up in there. It's definitely I've got my left side of my brain is thinking about it. World premiere, and this game really touched my soul. Crossfire.
I want you to read to the listeners what you wrote next to this.
So I wrote Crossfire X coming in 2020, and in parentheses I put yes.
That's definitely not how. That was definitely yes.
It was yeah. Have you seen the meme of the GIF of the cat going yes? That's what it was.
I refuse to speak to you after you say GIF.
This game looked
bad
ass. I mean, I was sitting there watching this like, holy fuck. It's like they've got mech battles going on, fucking craziness. And it's like, not mech battles, but they got like these futuristic warfare type shit going on. I'm down with it.
The graphics were so good you can't even remember.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I've seen so many games. I get them mixed up. But this game looked awesome. And so the games that I thought were pretty awesome, I made sure to put yes or something beside, right? So I gotta say, again, there wasn't a lot of gameplay.
What a shock.
Yes.
So keep an eye out for that one, because that's one that I'm really excited about. After that, we saw another world premiere, Tales of Arise. It's in parentheses I've got, it's a Japanese anime style fantasy game coming in 2020. So it puts you in mind of any kind of anime, like a Sword Art Online, something like that, I would guess. Borderlands 3, that's when we got some looks there at again, more trailers, but they did give us a release date, September 13th. Borderlands was a big topic at this E3. It was across multiple conferences. So after that, we see Elden Ring, the world premiere. The cool thing about this one is done with Bandai Namco and George R. Martin. And for those of you who don't know, that is the writer for Game of Thrones. Yes.
Lord of Thrones. Game of Rings.
So Elden Ring is coming. Fantasy game. Not sure. I mean, this was a small, tiny trailer.
It's also being done by From Software as well, I think.
Yes.
So I'm interested in that, but again, CG, no gameplay.
Yeah, we have no idea what it is.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly,
we
we
don't
don't.
get gameplay on this for another year.
But
That's too young.
That's what I was saying. I can let it slide because it's an announcement, essentially. If this was coming out in September, I'd be like, bullshit. Show me some gameplay.
I have a feeling a lot of the games that have been announced will get pushed.
They ended that was pretty much the end of your game premieres, except for one we'll talk about. But then they moved into Project xCloud, started talking about that, being able to play your games anywhere. Your Xbox console will be your own private Microsoft server at home. And later, at some of the additional press conferences, they said that for xCloud, the best way to play is at home, but it is playable on the go, just so you have that capacity to play on the go. And after they announced the Project xCloud, they moved right into the Project Scarlet announcement. We didn't see any hardware, but they announced a holiday 2020 release date. They gave us some specs. They're calling it 4 times more powerful than the Xbox One. It can rock at 120 frames per second, 8K compatibility, ray tracing, solid state drive. They made a custom processor for this, and they're calling it the biggest generation leap ever.
I doubt that. Just me personally. I'd have to see it to believe it, honestly, and it could be, but I haven't seen a huge generational leap in a long time.
This is what they're saying. Like I said, we didn't see it. We saw like a bunch of people talk about it, but that's really about it. But they did end the show saying that Halo Infinite will launch alongside Project Scarlet Holiday 2020, and we got to see a little Halo trailer. Master Chief is back, and he's ready to whoop some ass. It was really a good trailer, honestly. I'm not the biggest Halo fan anymore, but, that trailer was pretty cool.
I think that's smart. Like, launching with a big hit game like that could be their Breath of the Wild right there.
It's that they want to make the Xbox the Halo machine again.
Ooh, don't do that.
They want to make it to where it's, this is why you're buying it. You're going to buy it for this new Halo Infinite. To go back to the big generational leap, I think that what they're saying and what they're going to hopefully deliver on is, this is going to be big because with the biggest thing out of all of this essentially is the solid state drives.
Yeah, that's what people are saying.
That's going to make games load faster. They were talking about how it's going to serve as memory as well. There's a lot of things going on with the hard drive and the processor and all of that that's going to make this big. And if, our computer that we built, for example, has a solid state drive in it, and that's where the operating system lives. And you see how fast it boots up, and it's ready to go in 15 seconds, if that. So we're going to see games loading a lot faster and things be a lot smoother, and developers are going to be able to make more cohesive experiences because of this.
Okay. Like I'll definitely take your word for it because I don't know any of this technical stuff. When I hear generational jump or whatever, I was thinking like graphics. Like that's what pops into my mind as just a normie.
This is more of like hardware.
Functionality, basically.
And doubling, so like the standard PS4 gets 30 frames. The Pro can get up to 60. They're saying they're going to be delivering at 100 plus.
Oh, okay.
So that's one of the biggest things in gaming ever.
I will say though, because like when I got my PS4, graphic wise, it didn't look that much better, but I could tell a difference because it was moving much more smoother than the PS3.
Yeah,
because of the frame rate and all that. So.
This console this will be even smoother than anything that you've played.
Nice.
Which is nice. 8K capability, you probably won't see games in 8K.
No.
So don't get your hopes up on that. And then, like I said, like the solid state drive is going to be key to all of this.
Okay. I think that's just becoming the key because the PS5 is going to have solid state too.
Yeah, that's what they want to move towards to reduce load times. I mean, they can have load times at a second instead of
fuck yeah.
A minute.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
They said they're trying to move to this instant experience across the board, really. Like, you click your game, you're there, you're in the experience. This ray tracing thing, I don't know what it is. And I've asked people online, people in the industry, and it's hard to get a real answer. But people that are in the know say that this is one of the biggest deals in gaming. It has to do with how they essentially render the game. And they're saying it's huge. I don't even know what it is. I can't even figure it out.
We'll just have to wait and see.
But they're calling that a big deal too. So I mean, a lot of stuff's moving in these new consoles. I mean, a lot of power's coming in. It's really cool. I mean, it's cool to see. I mean, you've seen PlayStation with their load times on Spider-Man. It's almost non-existent. But that ended Microsoft's press conference, and my opinion overall, we'll give our numbers at the end. But Microsoft was lukewarm. They needed to bring the fire. We thought they were going to bring the pain, and they just, they didn't.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It was good, but it needed to be a little bit better than it was.
I think the best way to sum this up, it was quantity over quality. They had a lot of stuff there, but it just wasn't, a lot of it wasn't very interesting to me. A lot of it was just CGI trailers. They had some good heavy hitters, but they also had a lot of multi-plat stuff too. I think that Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, they really should focus on their first party stuff. Third party, that should be left up to individual, developers and so forth. And man, I was really expecting a lot from Microsoft. I thought for sure they were going to take this, and they just didn't deliver. I agree with you. It wasn't bad, but it definitely wasn't what I was hoping for either.
Carmin?
I think despite having a very lukewarm, as you put it, showing, I do believe they had the biggest announcement, which is their new console of the whole E3, the whole conference. So they overall had a mediocre score, but brought the biggest thing to the show at the end.
Cool deal. We'll go over our number scores at the end, but just want to get a feel for what everybody thought on this one. Next up, let's keep rocking. Bethesda came on stage.
Bethesda.
They opened up with a sizzle reel. They tend to usually do that. And then they moved right into talking about Elder Scrolls Blades. So apparently Blades became the number one mobile game. It's the second time they've had a number one mobile game, the first one being Fallout Shelter. And then they jump into saying they're adding solo arena battles, custom jewelry, and new Dragon Quest lines to Blades. So more stuff coming. And they dropped a pretty big announcement. It's coming to the Switch. Switch Blades. See the name, the pun they did there?
Ah.
And it's free. So I'm super excited about this because I'm going to pick it up on the Switch and play the fuck out of it. It's a perfect game for the Switch, honestly. And I don't know, to jump to the Switch makes me want to play it to where I didn't even feel like downloading it on my phone, but now I definitely want to play it. So I think that was a great move for them. And it's free. Now, I'm sure they'll still be their normal in-game purchases, however they do it with mobile, but still, good gesture. Now, you played it, Carmen. You said you just weren't impressed with it?
Yeah, no, I just wasn't impressed with the screen control, so I'm interested to see what they do with the Switch. If they don't make the controls any better, then the game isn't going to be that great. I'm surprised. I think it went to number one solely based on their name and the hype. Overall, I don't see anybody talking about it. It's just sizzled out in my opinion. I have it installed on my phone. I haven't opened it.
I gotta agree with Carmen. Again, I was checking out some stuff online, and the trailer for the Switch version wasn't well received either. I think it's just had its time in the sun and moved on.
I will say, and I get why they do it because it's the Elder Scrolls name, but the concept of it is fresh. It's kind of cool to just go dungeon crawl first person. But when it came out, it's like I said, it's a little late. But I'm going to try it. I'm going to see what happens. They go on to do their big Fallout 76 apology. And they, they did an okay job with it. So they talk about, they've been listening. They, with a rough launch, yada, yada, yada. So they talk about their biggest update yet, Fallout 76 Wastelanders, is free. They're going to add full quest lines, full dialogue trees, full NPCs, and it's coming this fall, free.
Who knew you could make the crowd go crazy over saying NPC?
Right?
Dude.
Exactly. When
that's kind of like tweet that. Cheering for somebody for doing their job.
Dude, there's been so many people online. They swear that that audience was fucking paid. They were
Bro,
fucking.
There's one guy in this Bethesda audience, and I want to be his friend. I'm talking this guy would come on stage, and this was a bro just yelling. It was amazing. It was hilarious, Jeremy. He was the biggest Chad in the world.
Was he bro siding king of the bro?
It was bad, dude. It was fucking bad. But I heard people saying that Bethesda went out and just gave people T-shirts to go sit in their front. Who knows? But they announced that, and then alongside all this, they announced their free week-long trial of Fallout 76. along with a new game mode. It's their battle royale called Nuclear Winter, and it's a 52-player battle royale mode, and it's going to be free to play this week as well. So week long, free. And they announced, a little bit less. I mean, they're planning, I think, on giving pretty much everything coming out for this game down the road, just giving it to the players, and that's the best thing they could do.
So I take it the way that this battle royale is that 52 people spawn on a map, and the last one to have their game crash and bug out is the winner.
Yes, or you die in nuclear fire.
Nah, that'll just you'll bug out first.
So yeah, I think that you can be in teams of 3, but I'm not sure. I couldn't really get the feel. I think you can do teams on that one. So
I think they'll have a hard time finding 52 people that's still playing.
Apparently, they said they have millions, and they're top 10 million active players. So that's just the numbers they say. I didn't look into it. The next game they came out with was Ghostwire Tokyo from Tango Studios. It's a new action adventure game. There's the people I put this a lot of English, but it's I was very intrigued by it. It had really good graphics. It was pretty.
That was CGI. There was no gameplay.
No, yeah, I didn't say gameplay, did I?
You said graphics.
Well, the graphics the trailer, the graphics look good. I mean, it's in-game footage, in-game trailer footage.
Yeah, but that's not the graphics of the game to me. Like I think graphics of game.
I'm sorry, the in-game footage looked good.
The trailer looked good.
And I don't know what's going on there. It talks about this difference between the normal and the paranormal. It was going between like a normal life and then like another realm with death or paranormal stuff, ghosts.
What I could get was it like you're this dude who like hunts Japanese ghosts.
Maybe I didn't even get that. I don't know what it is.
That's what I could glean from the trailer, and if that is what it is, it looks awesome. At least the concept does.
It definitely caught my attention because I called it badass. So I only put that for games that actually caught my attention.
Because I think this is also from the same people that did The Evil Within, which I really like that series.
Yep, it is same. Yeah.
So I've got confidence in this because those were some good games.
Yeah, this should be probably right up your alley, Jerry Bear.
Yeah, this will be another rare Bethesda game I'm actually interested in. So
we saw Elder Scrolls Online. They just launched their Elsewhere DLC, which added dragons, and now they announced a new season of the Dragon DLC called Dragonhold. They'll also launch a new dungeon crawler, which is called Scalebreaker. That DLC is coming in August, and this is one of the games that probably has the best praise at Bethesda. ESO has a huge fan base. They do a good job of keeping it going. And now, based on the audience reaction, this probably had the most praise coming out, especially with dragons. Really, just bring more fucking dragons in. So we saw a new reveal from ZeniMax. There was apparently an old 90s game, PC game, called Commander Keen. And they're remaking that. It's like a cartoon-style game, super like cel-shaded cartoon, I guess, something like that, on mobile. So, Jeremy, have you seen that cartoon it used to be based on, or that game it was based on?
Well, I've seen the game. It was an old like Sierra platformer game, and it was really popular. But this new mobile game is nothing like it, and again, fans are not happy. Like I saw Angry Joe did like the top 10 worst moments of E3, and that was number 2.
Really?
People were pissed.
I'd never heard of it, so I had no idea what this thing was.
I was never a fan myself, so this doesn't really speak to me. But I can see where people are coming from. It'd be like if they announced, "Hey, we're working on it. We're gonna have a Mega Man 12 come out," or like if they hadn't worked on Mega Man forever and be like, "Oh my god, it's gonna be amazing." And it's gonna be a free-to-play mobile title that plays nothing like the original and is full of microtransactions. They're gonna go, bullshit. Because like, gotta keep in mind, they haven't had a new Commander Keen game since the 90s. So
yeah, you're
pissed off a lot of fans. So I think this is gonna bomb.
It may. Like I said, I don't know anything about it, so
I think it will.
They showed Elder Scrolls Legends, which is their card game. They're doing a new expansion for that. Moons of Elsewhere coming out June 22nd. We saw some Rage 2 Rise of the Ghost expansion. They've got this cool new pilotable mech. I always like mechs. Really cool shit there. Wolfenstein, we saw 2 Wolfenstein titles. Wolfenstein Cyber Pilot, which is a VR game coming in July. And then Wolfenstein Youngblood is bigger than any other Wolfenstein ever. And it's going to also be co-op coming out July 26th. But Jeremy, you guys were saying earlier in the group chat that it's forced co-op.
Yeah, I was Game Informer apparently played with it, and they had some real major concerns. They said that the combat wasn't fun like the other games. They're adding RPG elements, but it takes away from just like the run and gun element of it. They said that they were facing just like a regular grunt, and they had to go through a whole clip of ammo just to put him down because he was a bullet sponge. So it kind of takes away the speediness of it. They said there's forced because you're playing as Blazkowicz's daughters, so the whole game is forced co-op. You have to have either two people or one person plus a computer-controlled character. They said there's RPG elements in it, but they said leveling up's kind of wonky, so it's not shaping up that great, apparently. They said the story was pretty good, though, but I think this might end up being the worst of the new Wolfenstein games, if I were to speculate. Because remember, the first one was well received, the second one was universally acclaimed. This one I think is going to be probably the weakest.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with Wolfenstein 2.
I actually didn't care for it.
I'm with you, Jeremy. I didn't care for it.
Oh, I thought you loved it too.
I didn't. I played an hour of it.
Wow, you're in the same boat. I liked the first one, Wolfenstein: The New Order. I thought was really good, but I just could not get into New Colossus at all.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was over the top, but it was really cool. So the Cyberpilot VR game, I didn't really care for that, but we'll talk about VR later. Deathloop from the studio that brought us Dishonored. I'm really not sure what. I literally put that here. Not sure what it is, but basically had two assassins, two characters were fighting and trying to kill each other on a loop day after day after day. We don't know why they were continuing fighting. We just know that every day they would fight each other. When they would die, they'd wake back up and do it all over again.
Looked pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by the premise, but I really need to see some gameplay, see if it seems something I care about.
Yeah, I mean, again, and we're going to have said it probably 18, 20 times now, but there wasn't a lot of gameplay in Bethesda's either. This next thing, I personally think this is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, announcements at E3 overall. And it's kind of one that flew under the radar, but they brought out two of their developers, two of their people, talked about Orion. And what Orion is, and it's really going along with this big push to cloud gaming. But Bethesda created this code, this algorithm, whatever you want to call it, to optimize game engines for cloud environments. So what they do is they put it in at the actual game engine level. So if your game's running Unreal, Frostbite, whatever it's running, they put it in at that level. And what it can do is it can stream game content 20% faster, which leads to a reduction of latency, and it can also stream at 40% lower bandwidth. So when the way they kind of showed it off was that it makes you stream them faster at lower settings, essentially. So they streamed Doom 4K 60 on a cell phone right there on stage. So I thought that was one of the biggest announcements there because it applies to every single developer. Anyone going into cloud gaming, they're going to want to come for this. This is going to optimize cloud gaming, and because it is my opinion and a lot of opinions that cloud gaming is the future, this is going to be a big deal.
It has to be done though. Like they have to lower bandwidth. They have to figure out how to get the latency down. And this is one developer doing it. You're going to see more studios do this.
You would hope. I mean, this
they have to.
You need this. Like you have to have it. I mean,
people are going to want to come up with better ways to do it, and Sony and Microsoft are both going to task these development companies to do this and figure out how to do it the best way.
We shall see. I'm glad to see at least one studio's got it done already. It would also kind of go because I know when Google stated did their Connect, they were kind of pushing how much Bethesda was a part of their Connect. So maybe this had something to do with that. So yeah, I think that in my opinion that's probably the biggest thing that came out. I know Jeremy, you don't care about stuff like that, but that's kind of a big deal for stuff that I'm looking at right now, kind of seeing how the gaming world may be shifting. I like where we're going.
I do believe that you believe that was one of the biggest things.
We saw Doom Eternal. The gameplay was scripted, but we did get some good gameplay. and it
Looks
looked
sweet.
badass. I mean, it looked good.
Yes.
Really good. It's coming out November 22nd. They announced this collector's edition. They've got a cool wearable helmet. Somebody was in the crowd wearing the fucking helmet. They announced the Doom multiplayer battle mode. So it's 2 fully tricked out or fully badass demons and 1 fully tricked out Slayer. It's kind of like one of those Monster Hunter modes, I guess. It's 2-on-1. I'm all down for that. Figure out how to beat the 2 demons, or the 2 demons are gonna whoop your ass.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about the multiplayer, but I've already had this going pre-order since last year, and it's looking really damn good, and I'm glad I pre-ordered it. Because I love Doom 2016, and this looks even better. They had some actual gameplay footage, which was awesome, although they had some a while back too. And this game just looks like it's going to be fucking sweet as shit. So I will definitely be getting this game.
I think that overall it was the most played game at E3. For instance, when Greg Miller did his test on xCloud and Stadia, he played Doom Eternal on both of them. Doom Eternal seemed to cross over a bunch of different places, so a lot of good stuff coming about this game. We'll find out more, obviously, at QuakeCon, but I'm excited for it. I wasn't going to get it. Maybe I will.
Oh, dude, have you ever played Doom 2016?
Yeah.
I mean, do you own it?
I don't own it, no.
Oh, you get it for nothing. It's cheap.
I could get it for nothing. Just go fuck up zombies. Dead, not zombies, really. Dead demons, devils. The undead devils from Hell's 6th realm with a BFG. I'm excited. I enjoyed what Bethesda did. Me being a Bethesda fanboy kind of taints my numbers, but I try to be as realistic as possible. I think they did everything they needed to do. They are trying their best to rectify this Fallout 76 situation. They're supporting a lot of their games. We're seeing some gameplay. Obviously, they're pushing Doom Eternal. We saw this Orion stuff. So, I mean, I like what they did overall.
Bethesda did their thing. They definitely showed up.
Jerry Bear?
They did better than I thought. Again, not as great as I had hoped, but I think they did a little bit better than Microsoft. Just because I actually give a shit about Doom and that new Ghostwire game, and so that right there is enough to score them some points with me. There's just a lot of stuff I didn't care about, but I also know I'm not their fan base. I think though they're just wasting their time with Fallout at this point. They really just need to kill it. But other than that, though, yeah, they were definitely better than Microsoft, better than EA, but they still weren't great, in my opinion. We'll get to some great presentations later on.
If by great you mean Devolver fucking Digital, then you're damn right we will.
I said great, not the apex of all humanity.
So, if you've never seen a Devolver Digital press conference, they're fucking weird, man. They do these scripted movies, and it is gory and demons popping out of chest, and it's just fucking weird. It is terrible. So I watched it. It was really, I mean, it's fun to watch, I guess, but, you know, their games they appeal to a certain crowd, but they have some cool stuff. So a lot of gore at the beginning, like I said. Mediatonic Bright game. So Mediatonic Studio, Bright's the game. It's a party game. Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout 2020. So what I remember this one is like one of those goofy, like you play on the couch co-op games. There's no actual gameplay, but you could tell that it's one of those party games, I guess. One of these really fucked up indie party games. To me, a lot of their games are weird, so I don't want to kind of taint it and say every single one's weird, but, you know, does that look kind of weird? They talked about the Devolver Bootleg Pack, which if you go and type to Devolver Bootleg, it takes you to a Steam page, and you can download their launcher, and you get like 8 games. That's like a pack. That was kind of like their big sale, I guess, they announced. We saw a world premiere of Carrion. It looked a lot like Dead Cells. It's definitely probably got these roguelike elements on it. You're probably going to die a lot and go back. So it definitely had the same art style as Dead Cells. So it's coming to PC and consoles 2020. We saw Enter the Dungeon, House of the Undead, coming to arcade. So, and excuse me, it's not Dungeon. I meant to type in Gungeon. They're Enter the Gungeon, one of the most famous games. It's coming to arcade. So
someone has to support that culture.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I don't know. Like from what I was reading on like the stuff I've been seeing, like articles and stuff, like Devolver Digital has their following. I mean, people love their games. I know the only one I've really ever messed with to an extent that I think people play a lot is like or Enter the Gungeon. But some of the stuff I'm telling you, like their games are a acquired taste, if you will.
They're abstract.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw the Messenger Picnic Panic DLC, and I put here a 16-bit tropical ninja game, and like it had like they were like this island. There was like seagulls cawing, and the breeze was blowing, and fucking ninjas were there. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense for ninjas to be out in the open in an island. And then there's this really cool side-scroller shoot 'em up that I really enjoyed. Probably the highlight of the entire thing for me. My Friend Pedro. And go check out that trailer. It is worth your time. Pretty cool looking, I gotta say. But I wanted to make sure we touched on Devolver Digital. If you love them, there was some cool stuff there. They're doing some neat stuff with their bundling, going to arcades, obviously. And then, like I said, My Friend Pedro is one of the coolest games I saw at all the press conferences. So, might be worth looking into there. But that wrapped up day one of your press conferences. That was Sunday night for us here on the East Coast, Sunday afternoon for those up over on the West Side. And then Monday, we had the VR showcase, PC Gaming, Ubisoft, and Square Enix. So we're going to kick into it. I'm going to briefly go over all this VR showcase stuff. I know that we're not, this is not the podcast you want to listen to for VR stuff or PC stuff. We don't have a resident PC gamer or a VR guy. But I'm going to go over it so we can talk about it. Stop me if you hear anything that sounds like it's kind of cool. But we saw Vertigo Games presented After the Fall, which is a VR action adventure with RPG elements, 4-player co-op in a post-apocalyptic world. And one thing you're going to notice in this VR is there's a lot of fantasy fighter genres, a lot of them. That seems to be the one they're wearing in the ground. As I go through my notes, I'm like, fuck, there's another one. So you'll start seeing that a lot. Carmin Studios presents The Wizards Dark Times, another seem to be fantasy style game. Rust LTD and Valve presents, now this is one of the coolest fucking things at this whole press conference, a VR game where everyone is a hot dog. Yes, you hear it right, a hot dog. And they're mimicking Team Fortress 2's combat. How fucking cool is that?
The future, ladies and gentlemen. The future.
This is called Meat Fortress.
That's what I call my pants.
Yeah, so Meat Fortress is coming out. I actually kind of thought that game was pretty tongue-in-cheek. I like that. We saw Neat Corporation's Budget Cuts. Don't know what it is. It's a weird-looking game. They were fighting robots in an office, and every time they killed a robot, they got negative $15,000 or something like that. Kind of cool, kind of weird. Still don't know what it is. Angry Birds 2, the movie experience. So this is not going to be Angry Birds. This is going to be the Angry Birds movie experience. It's a couch co-op VR type game. Maze Theory presents feature-length adventure where you fly the TARDIS and you see places from Doctor Who. Who would not want to fly in the TARDIS? Doctor Who: The Edge of Time is coming out. Disciples of Dawn, a very vague trailer, and all you could tell was the dark color palette. Super dark game. Again, not a lot of gameplay here, a lot of trailers. Neon, futuristic game with, let's see, what's it called? Lo-Fi. Vague trailer again on that one. You got Akron Attack of the Squirrels, cartoon style game. This was one where you're a fucking magical tree and you're defending acorns from squirrels. Now the cool thing about it is people could log in on their mobile phone and be the squirrels. So I thought that was pretty fun. It's like I could be the fucking tree. Y'all can jump in online and try to take my nuts.
Well, it allows people to play games in VR with their friends there. So one person throws a headset on, the other people pull out their phones, and they get to interact.
Yeah, I mean it's a cool interactive concept. I really enjoyed that concept of it. The Walking Dead Onslaught VR. You can level up characters that have unique perks. Each character has different talents, and there was a cool melee system they talked about it made especially for this game. So it's like a Walking Dead RPG VR experience. Hotel R&R, and this is literally my notes for this one, ladies and gentlemen. A rock star fucks up hotel rooms for the devil. What do you think about that, Jeremy?
Just not even paying attention at this point.
A rock star will fuck up a hotel at the devil's request.
Like this is the problem I have with all these VR games. Like every last one of them are just the kind of thing where you play for like 5 minutes and go, "Well, I've done everything I can do with this," and then that's it.
At this point, Greg Miller comes out, talks PlayStation VR, talks about Mini Mech Mayhem, tabletop action strategy game. You got 2 phases. You pick your moves in phase 1, and second phase it plays out. Pick your moves wisely. Comes out June 18th. First-person VR game, Undead Citadel, another fantasy fighting game with swords, shields, axes, and zombies. You want to go out, get hammered, and get in a bar fight? Well, now you can do it without all the negative side effects. Drunken Bar Fights VR is coming out. Highwire Games presents exclusive PSVR game where you explore and unravel secrets of an ancient city. Golem is getting a physical release. At launch will be on a PlayStation VR title. Arizona Sunshine 2019 is coming to the Oculus Quest. It has zombies. That's all you need to know about that one. You want to get in shape in the VR world and you want to dance your ass off? Well, you need to go get Dance Central VR, where you can dance with the characters to increase your respect. You got to get your respect to get all good in the hood, if you know what I'm saying. And they're adding new songs. Ready at Dawn brings Echo Arena to the Quest. Battlewake VR, which is your VR pirate adventure. You got a campaign and 4-player co-op multiplayer. Go rape, pillage, just like the old pirates do. Don't be scared. Helm Systems presents the Soulkeeper VR, another, yet again, medieval first-person fighting game. Space Team, a VR game where you fix your spaceship, not by doing things, but by yelling. I'm
literally
serious, like you yell.
Jeremy, fix the fucking ship.
Eat my ass.
So that's how you fix your ship,
Deal.
by yelling to your homie. A VR rhythm shooter where you shoot to the beat of the songs. Audica is available now. Asgard's Wrath is another action RPG set in Norse mythology. A first-person medieval fighting. I see a theme here. Cool thing is you can down enemies and turn them into your animal companions. But you want them to follow you and fight for you?
They're really driving this fucking medieval thing home.
I'm telling you,
They're like ruining God of War.
You have to walk up to them and fist bump them to get them to follow you.
Jesus Christ.
Smilegate Entertainment presents Rogan, Thief of the Castle, another first-person medieval adventure game. Jesus. Garden of the Sea. You start on a small island, you explore and build. It's a plant growing system. One of the most boring games I saw at the entire E3 showcase.
It's probably very soothing.
They released it in what even they called way too early access. Hammerhead Hammerhead is working on the continuation of Abe, a movie I believe it once was. It had to do with AI robots. Loeb and Tripwire presents Aspire 1, a stealth action first-person shooter in the same vein as Metal Gear Solid and Splinter Cell. Long-form, story-driven campaign missions. August, this could be the first real long-form title that could bring people like us into VR.
Doubt it.
They decided their favorite games were Metal Gear Solid and Splinter Cell, so they wanted to make a game in that vein. First Contact Entertainment presents Solaris, fast-paced multiplayer shooting, no trailer or shit for it. They just said the name of it. And finally, to end the VR experience, Cloudhead Games presented Pistol Whip. It's a music rhythm first-person shooter bullet hell game that is really fast-paced. I mean, you're going and going and going. And that was the entire VR experience. And it went on 2 hours. There's a lot there. I get it. But there's only like 2 or 3 things that I really even got interested in seeing that. So, I know we're not even going to talk about the what we thought of VR Showcase, because I know what you guys thought about it.
I was going to say, that was 10 minutes of my life I'll never get back.
And on to the even longer PC gaming list.
We're going to go straight through PC gaming as well, so stick with us. But if you hear something that you really enjoyed at these, feel free to email us, talk to us on Twitter, and we'll stop and we'll put some time into these. We'll talk about what we think about it. Even if we don't know what it is, we'll jump in and we'll do some research and talk about it. But they want to show off 30 PC games, or 30 games. They started out with Evil Genius 2 World Domination. It's real-time strategy, probably. Again, not a lot of gameplay there. We saw the world's first footage of Vampire: The Masquerade Bloodlines 2. It is the sequel to the Vampire game that came out in 2004. It's come out in quarter one of 2020. Starmancer, space station sim game. You got to manage a colony capable of sustaining life in space. Chivalry 2. This is your favorite medieval battle scene. If you think about the medieval video games, medieval movies, this is it. Siege your castles, raid your cities, huge battles, burning houses. Everything was there. Go live in medieval times with Chivalry 2. Mosaic 2019. No gameplay. Not really sure what it is, but it was dark looking. World exclusive Midnight Ghost Hunt. You play as the ghost or 4 ghost hunters, okay? This is actually a pretty cool game, I thought. So the ghost
never been done before.
The ghost can teleport into objects, okay? And the hunters have to try to fight them. They've got their quote-unquote proton packs. It's like Ghostbusters on steroids. So if the ghosts win or get to midnight, they become super-powered ghosts, and then the tables are turned, and they hunt the hunters. So the whole point is you're trying to play hide-and-seek against the guys hunting the ghosts, and if you make it to midnight, you become a super-powered ghost on steroids, and then you got to try to hunt the hunters until they can get to evac, or try to stop them to get to the evac point. I thought it was pretty cool. And to top it off, it was done by one guy. I was really happy about this one. Probably, as far as PC gaming goes, probably my favorite look. We saw a roguelike procedural venture, Unexplored 2, the sequel to Unexplored, obviously, but they made a point to say this just in case nobody knew. It was very artistic, and it's a top-down style roguelike. Dean Del Serra from Samsung came out. They showed off their new gaming monitor. This is a curved gaming monitor, 240 hertz, 1500 resolution? I don't even know what I put here. Curved NVIDIA G-Sync, 3000-to-1 contrast ratio, lag and tear-free performance is available in July for under $400. 27 inches of pure gaming power, that is. What's next for Funcom? Well, Mutant Year Zero, Seed of Evil, Conan Unconquered, Moons of Madness, and another sizzle reel. The founder of Mighty Kingdom Studio did this game called Conan Chop Chop. World exclusive. It's a chibi Conan roguelike game, hack and slash. I really enjoyed this game. It came out September 2019, comes to all platforms, and it's like, again, it's a chibi Conan. You're playing as like a kid version of Conan and just slashing the fuck out of things, and it's really cool looking. Early access coming to Steam for The Last Oasis. You don't know what it's about, but it looked very Mad Max-ish. They had like these big-ass wooden structures that were moving, deserts, kind of post-apocalyptic, not a lot of tech in the world. August 6th, we got Age of Wonders Planetfall coming out. That's a strategy game. All I know is one faction rides dinosaurs with lasers into battle. Each origin or race has a tech tree, so each of your units are different. When you're in combat, the game zooms in. Unlike other RTSs, it zooms in and you got turn-based combat. So this is a mixture of a real-time strategy game and a turn-based combat game. So kind of a cool mixture. I like that. It's coming in August. That should be one you should keep an eye on. We got a world-exclusive shooter. Zombie Army Dead War. Zombie Army Dead War. Not sure about the other three, but this is the fourth one. There's not a lot of gameplay, but there's some cool footage there. It's from the makers of Sniper Elite 4. We had trailers of Remnant from the Ashes. The CEO of Gunfire comes out as a co-op action shooter on an apocalyptic Earth. They've got a dynamic generation system, changes from person to person, slow paced and very difficult. You will die a lot. I got the hint that this was the Dark Souls of shooters, coming out on multiple platforms. There's a deck building roguelike game, Griftlands. It's cartoonish. You can also negotiate with the world. So it showed them going into a saloon. The first time they went in, they died. The second time they tried something else, they died. The third time they went in, they negotiated with 2 other people and gave them something to help them win, and then they won. The next one, Planet Zoo. Zoo management sim game, because we all love those. Shout out to Roller Coaster Tycoon. Yu Suzuki, the creator of Shenmue, came out to talk about Shenmue 3, said the wait is nearly over. World's first exclusive look at Shenmue 3 coming out November 19th, 2019. There was some, I guess you call it, I don't know if it was gameplay. You could see them doing his martial arts and fighting people and running after people. And obviously it was like a Mr. Miyagi and his Padawan, if you will. We saw Vermintide 2 PvP mode. We saw a world-exclusive Paraspa, and you just go terraform Mars. You land on Mars, you turn that bitch into Earth, really. Saw some more Ancestors. This is that game, guys, where you start out as a monkey, and then you evolve. We found out there's actually no story there. You just go evolve. So you start as a monkey, and then you evolve into different things.
So we
Heavy
get to
metal.
live our lives.
Yeah, that's basically like get in here and don't do anything. This one was kind of cool. I remember this one. Heavy metal action 2D platformer Valfaris is coming. Very much reminded me of Broforce. You blast and slash your way through a citadel, colorful graphics, badass music, even more badass deaths. I think this is, if you like Broforce, you would love this game. Then they slowed it down. We did a Borderlands 3 Q&A. They said they were asking the audience in the Twitch chat. We didn't get a lot of good questions asked. They did go over one of the new characters, one of the new operators, and how she can get in her big panda mech. The level cap's going to be 50 at launch. You can share your weapons across all your characters at launch, and launch is September 15th. One of the coolest games I saw at all of E3, period, Maneater. This is an open world RPG game, or as they call it, a shark PG game. And that's right, you're literally a shark. It's like GTA in the ocean. It was super over the top. It looked really badass. You gotta go check it out. But it's literally an open world game. Instead of being on land, you're a shark in the ocean. Super cool. I love this game. This game will be on one of my consoles. Or Google Stadia. We don't know yet. Telling lies. Basically, this game would be the bane of Jeremy's existence because all you do is you watch videos, real videos, actually by real people, over a 2-year span, and you have to solve a mystery by combing through these videos and putting the mystery together.
Ugh. Just, ugh. That was so bad that woke me up from my coma.
Warframe Empyrean announced. Kept it really hush-hush up until this point, but we know it's going to bring in epic space combat to the Warframe universe. Pretty cool. Now you're not just Space Ninja, you're actually in space, in your, what's it called? Jaegerjack, Table Jack, I forget what it's called. So cool stuff there. Baldur's Gate 3, the ones we're all excited about. They're talking about how it's going to be totally based off the 5th edition of D&D, which happens to be the one that I play. They had to take the handbook to get into the game. They tweaked some things around. They're actually going to have a cool tabletop prequel coming out to the actual Baldur's Gate game. Set 100 years after Baldur's Gate 2. Has the history and lore of Baldur's Gate. That's going to launch September 17th, but they did not announce when the actual game will launch. And finally, for PC, so we can get Carmin and Jeremy awake, finally, they took a nice nap. El Hijo, stealth game. You're a 6-year-old boy trying to get to your mom, and it's based on this spaghetti western type cartoonish style. And that was it for the VR and PC game shows.
Have you ever watched one of those movies where someone just talks a whole lot and they just like cut back to everybody else in the room, and like at first everybody's like super attentive, and then at the end it's like,
Yes.
welcome
yes,
to VR and PC.
I don't have much of an audience, but we might have an audience out there who needs
Back
to hear
to the
what's
Hella
going on.
Average Games cast. It's time to talk about Ubisoft.
Yes. So we gotta accommodate everybody. So yes. So we leave those two to finally come to Ubisoft, and honestly, I think Ubisoft kind of dialed it in. So we saw a couple of cool things, but for the most part, nothing that really got the juices flowing. But let's kick it right off. Let's just start talking about it. They started off obviously with their normal Assassin's Creed Symphony was on stage, right? So they're playing all this epic music, and there's Assassin's Creed stuff happening in the background. In my opinion, it was way too long. Then we moved to Watch
Can I just
Dogs.
say, though?
Yes.
Can you name one song from Assassin's Creed?
No, I can't.
Why the fuck would anyone want to go see a symphony of that?
Hey, people like powerful music.
Yeah, the music is good, but the games are...
I can't even think of any music in the game.
I mean, I just think it's cool when they actually have the symphonies out there, like when they show the symphonies for Final Fantasy and all of that. I mean, that stuff's cool. I don't necessarily need to know the music.
It helps me. Like if someone did like a Mario Galaxy, like it had fantastic music. Is it the Final Fantasy games and so forth? But Assassin's Creed, I'm like,
They moved from right into that into Watch Dogs. Bam, in your face. Here's Watch Dogs. We had real gameplay. And here's what happened. They were actually trying to recruit a new drone operator for their gang, their crew. So what happens is, and when they said it, they mean you can literally play every NPC in this game. Every single NPC is fully simulated. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to get some recruit people to your team. So they showed you playing as this guy that going after this drone operator. When he died, it went to another person. It was this old lady, right, who had like cool gadgets. She was like a spider drone and taser. I mean, literally, you can recruit anybody, they say, and you got a free London from this tyranny. So, man, I was really pleasantly surprised by Watch Dogs. It's dropping March of next year, and I like what I saw.
I think this will be probably the best of the Watch Dog games. It doesn't do a thing for me, but it'll do very well. This could be a good franchise for them.
I think they're doing too much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're gonna make literally every NPC playable. Like they showed them playing as in like grandma, like whooping people's asses.
That's a good point. I mean, it does
Too
break that
much.
immersion. It breaks that immersion, and it also makes it less special and all that. But I think people are gonna eat this shit up, personally.
It's gonna make for cool content on YouTube and Twitch, and that's about it. Because people are gonna be like, "I just beat the whole game as fucking grandma."
But yeah, it is gonna be weird though if you're playing like a fucking 90-year-old woman who's sprinting down the street,
beating motherfuckers up.
Yeah, you're right. It's gonna be funny as hell to watch, but I'm not gonna be able to take this story seriously.
Yeah, it's like this has to be the end. This has to be the end of Watch Dogs.
I mean, I don't really know how they had the time or resources to fully flesh out every single character in the game.
They won't. There's gonna be throwaway characters.
Well, yeah, it's gonna be like if you control this person, then some other person gets eliminated, behind the scenes, and then 20 people share the same story, but you only once you connect with one of them, then you never see the other person. They're gonna end up. There's gonna be so much crossover.
I'm excited to see what they do. It may be worth. I played a little bit of the first Watch Dogs and didn't really play the second one, but this is piquing my interest for sure. Like what they're trying to do is kind of cool. So once we move past this Watch Dogs gameplay, Rob McElhaney came out from Always Sunny. He's partnered with Ubisoft, and they're creating a TV show called MythiQuest. And the reason they partnered with Ubisoft was because it's about a dev team that just created this really popular game called MythiQuest. And they wanted it to be as realistic as possible. So, hey, I mean, why not go to Ubisoft, right?
I was just questioning why was this at E3?
I don't know. I thought the show didn't even look that funny, but that's just me.
No, it looked terrible, and like E3 should be about games and like hardware and software. I could give two shits about some fucking TV show that has nothing to do with an actual property. I mean, just come on, save that shit for Netflix or YouTube or whatever. Keep about the games, bro.
I agree. I mean, hey,
yeah.
And it wasn't even funny. If it had been funny, it might have been a little bit easier to stomach, but I didn't even laugh. I think I got up and peed during that part, to be quite honest. Like, I don't think I need to watch this. I'll just go do something else, That's just how I feel about certain things there. But yeah, let's keep it to the games, Jeremy. I like that. Next, we saw Rainbow Six Siege. They're in year 4. They have been supporting this game for 13 seasons. And they showed off the 13th season. Operation Phantom Sight. We get 2 new operators. They actually showed gameplay. It was like a CGI gameplay, not actual. It was scripted gameplay. The new operator in the new season in action. This new operator is pretty cool. Like all I can tell about him is he looks like a James Bond looking character. He's got a black suit on with a white shirt. And he's got these cool glasses. He presses his watch, and he can't be like a white screen goes across his glasses. He can't be flashbang, and he can see through smoke. So. Ubisoft does really good with Rainbow Six Siege. It's still got a really big esports presence. And yeah, I mean, it looked pretty good. 13 seasons, huh? 4 years they've been doing this game.
It's a solid game. So
yeah, it is.
A lot of people are saying that they're like excited to get back into it. I saw a lot of good reactions on Twitter.
The people that I know play it are like religious. Like they say that the updates are always good. The tuning they have to do is very medium, very light tuning once the game's launched. So apparently they take really good care of this game, this title. We saw some new Brawlhalla. Brawlhalla and Adventure Time are teaming up, and it's available right now.
Do you think that's a good move?
I don't watch Adventure Time, but isn't it pretty popular?
It was. It's no longer on the air.
Yeah, I mean, Brawlhalla was a fun game. It was a
Yeah,
it's
the
a
game
Smash
was fun,
clone.
but I kind of like the originality that they had in their characters.
Yeah, I mean, it's a throwaway grab in my opinion. Just get a few more people to play it. The people who are Adventure Time fans.
Yeah, it's a way to sell DLC.
I mean, it looked cool. I mean, and like we said, Brawlhalla was pretty cool. So yeah, go play it, see what happens. I don't think it cost anything. I don't know if they said it was free or not. I have to look into that. We'll get back to you. Maybe we never will. Ghost Recon Breakpoint. John Bernthal comes out. He's going to be starring in the new Ghost Recon game. For those of you who don't know him, he is the Punisher on Netflix. He is Shane in The Walking Dead. He talks about the game. He talks about the Wolves, which is his squad, the bad guys. There's no gameplay. It's mostly CGI trailers, but the beta goes live September 5th. They also announced Ghost Recon Delta Company, which is going to be a community forum for Ghost Recon. That's where they want you to post all your screenshots, talk about it, videos, everything. They want you to go there, join that, have fun with the rest of the world. And they also announced Tom Clancy's Elite Squad, which is going to be a cartoonish mobile game, and it's got all the main characters from Ubisoft. So, I mean, you've got Sam Fisher, you've got, everybody.
Sam Fisher. Dude, this game looked like shit.
Dude, I didn't know what it was. They just started announcing characters.
Yeah, it's because like Sam Fisher's like the only actual character. I think everyone else just made up for this game.
They did wasn't Ezio was in there, right?
Who?
The guy from Assassin's Creed. Ezio, right?
Ezio?
Yeah.
I don't think so. This was all guns and shit.
Was it?
Yeah.
I wish I had the. Okay, here it is. Who do we see in there? The trailer showed characters from The Division, Rainbow Six Siege, Ghost Recon, and Sam Fisher from Splinter Cell.
Yeah, so Sam Fisher. That's all, folks.
Seems like everybody's trying to get into the mobile space in some way or another.
Throw any crap on the Google store and make some money.
Just Dance segment came out, which they always do, and it wasn't as cringy as usual.
It's always cringe.
It wasn't as bad this time. They did pretty good. The panda was crumping, so that was kind of cool. But it drops in November. I mean, it is.
Jeremy, do you know what crumping is?
Is that what you have with tea? Crumping?
No, that's a crumpet.
Oh.
You can't just breeze over this without asking. Well, the panda was crumping. All right, moving on. No, we need to know what Jeremy knows.
Isn't it called crunking?
No. Carry on, Jeremy. Come on.
Oh, man.
We're going to start a new show.
My knowledge in
Jeremy versus Ebonics.
My knowledge of dance ends at the Charleston.
Jeremy, it wasn't as bad of a segment as it is in the past. It was shorter this time. The music was okay. It's just more Just Dance. That's it. There's a new limited time in-game event for For Honor. A lot of badass samurai shit happened in it, but not too much gameplay. A lot of CGI stuff. This piqued my interest. Their new game coming out is going to be releasing in 2020. It's called Rainbow Six Quarantine. It's going to be 3-player tactical co-op, and they said they want what Siege is to PvP. Quarantine is going to be to PvE co-op. Excuse me. So that concept is cool, but we saw nothing else but an announcement. Not a trailer, no anything.
First-person Division. There we go.
Maybe.
I mean, that's kind of what it sounds like to me.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that they're trying to go make it that prolific in the PvE realm, I'm definitely interested to see it. Division 2, we see between June 13th and 16th, the Division is free to play. They went through their new content that's dropping for the first 3 episodes. Episode 1 coming in July. You're heading to a new area with more story missions and content. That's going to be the National Zoo.
Heading back to New York,
ending at Kinley College. New gameplay experience. And you got to figure out the fate of a convoy that's gone dark. Episode 2 is coming this fall, heading to the Pentagon. The Pentagon has fallen to the Black Tusk, and we have to secure its secrets so they don't get leaked and ruin the world. The second raid drops in this content, so that's exciting. They're dropping a raid that fast. And then the third and final episode for year 1. Time to engage in a manhunt because one of your agents has gone rogue and stop him before the world ends. and then they announced the biggest bomb at E3. The Division movie is going to be made by Netflix. Which I actually like. I mean, straight to Netflix Division movie. I'm all for it.
You know, I could have sworn that Ubisoft had announced at least one thing I gave a shit about. I guess I must have had some kind of like false memory or something.
I think there was one thing.
Trying to think what that was.
Ubisoft's new PC subscription service, Uplay Plus.
That's obviously what it was.
That's exactly what it was.
Everyone loves Uplay.
You get the earliest access, including premium editions. Play over 100 games on PC in the Ubisoft catalog. $14.99 per month. Launches in September, and it will be available on Stadia in 2020. Probably the most well-received game out of all of E3, Roller Champions.
The game looks cool. Roller Champions does look pretty cool, but it's totally a Rocket League rip.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's roller derby soccer in neon colors. I mean, it looks good. It could be fun. It could be fun. Roller derby, you can tackle people with still a ball. Once you pass the start line, then a line goes around the stadium. It looks like it has to loop around 3 times before the actual goal lights up and is active, and that's when you can score.
I don't know the official rules for roller derby, so I hope that they did this kind of accurately.
Hey, I'm just going off what I saw here. I mean, there's not a lot to go off of here. We're scraping kind of the bottom of the barrel, so you know how that goes. Jeremy, this is what I think you may have been slightly interested in. There's a new project being announced by Ubisoft. It involves ancient mythological gods and their adventures and misadventures. It is done in a more cartoonish style than what Ubisoft is used to doing. Their tagline is, when gods need help, they turn to you. Gods and Monsters is dropping February of 2020.
That's what it was. Yeah, it looked like kind of like a Zelda / Shadow of the Colossus kind of thing. Yes, that's the one thing they announced. I was like, oh, that looks neat.
So overall vibe for Ubisoft, again, I think they phoned it in. I think that they just showed stuff for their existing games, which that's what they do. They support games. But other than probably Rainbow Six Quarantine and Gods and Monsters, that's about all they had.
Yeah, I think this is their worst year they've had in a long time. Like I said, this was just, we do not give a shit.
Thoughts, Carm?
I thought it was just decent. They didn't show out, but I also don't expect them to show out. They're doubling down on classics, and they're trying to push into some new realms. So I'll follow them. And as long as they just bring the Symphony and not an Assassin's Creed game, I'm good.
I can get behind that too.
Interesting choice to do no Assassin's Creed look for the new game. So
I ain't mad.
I'm really excited for this new Rainbow Six. That's the one that I think I need to keep an eye on. But let's move in, and I just want to say that I apologize in advance because this was the worst showing at E3. But we got to talk about it. Square Enix took the stage. And Square Enix absolutely killed this year. Slayed the game.
Oh,
they really did.
I did not see this coming.
Just like everyone else that we didn't see other than the Final Fantasy VII remake, we didn't see a lot of gameplay. But that Final Fantasy VII remake, we saw. Woo. Good God. So they open up, right? They come out, they'll be like, oh, they're talking about it. Then they just casually drop the first game, the first episode is going to be 2 Blu-ray discs full. That's a lot.
That's fucking... I don't think this has ever happened. I don't think they've ever had a game so big it had to be on 2 Blu-rays.
That's
Either
a lot.
that or it's developed that poorly that it's just fucking like a total mess.
Oh, dude, like every time you talk to someone, you have to pop in the second disc.
Or
the text.
The first disc, they didn't delete all the original development from the other studio, so they were just like, fuck it, and they just threw it all on there anyways. It's not accessible, you can't get to it. People will end up scraping the data out. Like, they just didn't do any cleanup, so they were like, we're kind of out of space on the first disc. The fucking CEO walks out and he's like, use second disc. Just keeps it pushing.
But dude, I go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. I gotta say, I was surprised. I didn't think they're gonna show this much gameplay.
Oh, dude, they showed so much. They finally showed Tifa. They showed so much more of the combat.
Yeah,
God, it just looks.
Let's get into that real quick.
Gorgeous.
Let's get into the combat. So because we asked on past episodes. I mean, is this going to be hack and slash or is it going to be turn based? Turns out it's fucking both. They have combined. It's weird. So here's what you're doing. You got you're mashing square. Cloud's going to be attacking. Yam 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 yam. Your ATB fills up. This ATB bar is going to fill up. Once you get that bar filled all the way up, you go into what's called tactical mode. Time is slown, almost frozen. This is when you can pick your moves, your spells. This is your slowed down. Pick your more, I would say, traditional RPG type stuff. So you got this mix of a turn-based and hack and slash. But if you want to just play a turn or hack and slash, you can put your spells and abilities on shortcuts. So you can play the whole game straight hack and slash and never go into tactical mode.
I love this. I love that they're giving you this variety. How you want to play. Like, I love, too, that I love the way it's slowed down, and it circles around, and it's just like something out of a movie, where it's like, just like in the original Matrix, like when, you're dodging the bullets in bullet time. God, this game looks so fucking good.
It does. I've got a lot of good things to say about it, and I think what I like so much about the gameplay is just how unique it is. This really hasn't been done before. It's usually one or the other. They're combining the both.
I thought for sure this was going to be just like a straight up Final Fantasy 15 combat style. And while they're taking some cues from it, they're innovating on it and just making its own thing. And I'm just so happy. Like, I'm 100% pre-ordering this now. Like, I'm willing to take that dive. I don't think this is going to be a shit game at all. I think this is going to be fantastic. And it's going to eat up so much fucking space on my PS4.
So much fucking time in real life.
Dude, how big a file do you think this is going to be?
Probably if it's so let's just say generally 2 Blu-rays, 100 to 180 gigs.
I was going to say like I was going to say 120, but yeah, I think it's going to be fucking insanely huge. I'm going to have to clear out a bunch of shit on my fucking PS4 to make room for this.
And episode 1 only goes to the end of
Midgar.
Yeah.
But I think this. I was a little worried when I heard that, and a lot of people are afraid that it's only going to be like 10 hours or something. But I think what they're doing is they're really expanding on the Midgar part. They said each game is going to be a full game, so I think we're going to get like a full, at least, I want to say 20 to 30 hours out of this minimum. And I think we're going to see some new areas we hadn't gone to. I'm really hoping we're going to maybe get to explore like the upper discs where the rich people live and so forth. Maybe go to some different slums that you couldn't in the original. So I've really got high hopes for this game. I hope it lives up to it. And that trailer is just, it's helping me confirm that this is gonna live up to it.
I saw somewhere that they called it. It's one of the people in the industry said this is not a remaster. This is a reimagining. So
yes,
it really
true.
is.
Yeah.
We saw a full boss battle. This was a giant scorpion that they fought. That's when
Scorpion mech.
Yeah, Scorpion mech. This was you had someone on your team at this point.
Barrett.
Barrett was on your team, and you had they were like, "Oh, I think lightning magic will work," and then obviously he hits his lightning spell, and bam, this dude gets smashed.
Fuck yeah, dude.
It was a cool boss fight. This mechanics you'd think you would see. It felt dynamic. The boss felt like it could whip your ass. It didn't stay on the ground. It would jump on the walls and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it felt like a boss fight. So that was good. The voice acting, from what I could tell, this was the English voice acting. It seemed good. It didn't seem too repetitive. It seemed like it was thought out well. Usually when you have, and I mean, Kingdom Hearts was kind of, guilty of this too, is the voice lines get overused and overused.
Yeah.
And now, granted, we only saw a little piece of it, so it might still happen, but it seemed like it was diverse, so we'll see how that goes.
Dude, I'm just waiting for the DLC pack where Barrett will just say, I think this is a good place to find ingredients. Or no, it'd be like, yo, this is a good place to find some fucking ingredients.
Yeah, that's how I think it would sound. They said if you pre-order, you can get this cool pre-order pack. What's it actually called? Do you remember?
I don't remember what it was called, but I did see like the deluxe edition and collector's edition. It was like steelbook, soundtrack, I think art book, and if you pre-ordered like the super limited edition from Square Enix's store, it came with a Cloud figure and the bike.
Yep, that's the coolest part was Cloud and the bike.
Yeah, but I basically already have this. I have like the Advent Children version of that figure and bike, so I'll probably be skipping that, just getting the standard. Plus, I'm just not a fan of steelbooks. I just like my games to look the same, so I'll just be picking up the standard on this one.
Carmen?
I think this game looks amazing. Like, they fucking killed it. And the best part of it all, dust my shoulders off, boys. That release date.
Oh, yes.
Nailed it.
I have never been so happy to admit I was wrong. I did never in a million years I thought this was going to come out this early. But, man.
When they start showing gameplay, Square Enix, when they start showing gameplay, they deliver very fast. And I solely based this off of Kingdom Hearts 3. It's like you didn't start seeing a lot of gameplay until the game was they showed a bunch of gameplay, gave you a release date, and boom. Now we're going to see stuff for this game almost probably every month leading up. Every month and a half.
Did we say the release date? Did you tell him what it was, Carmen?
He predicted like Q1 of next year.
Yeah, my actual prediction, I gave a very bold prediction of holiday 2019. And that wasn't my like accurate one. And then my actual prediction was first quarter 2020, and it's coming in March.
And I said it was going to be like Q3 or 4 of next year, like September or October. So
Carmen comes in clutch with that call.
Just dust the old shoulders off, boys.
Yeah. Get the old attaboys.
You know, I thought that would be like, oh, you know, that kind of, that's all they had. But pleasantly surprised through the rest of this press conference here. We got to see Jeremy's favorite genre, an emotional walking sim game. Life is Strange 2 is coming. No gameplay, all CGI trailer. The reason I said Traveler was because my next point, Octopath Traveler, is going to PC.
Fantastic game.
Yes, let the computer people play it.
Yes, yeah, exactly. More goodness.
Last Remnant Remastered, available right now. They even hit somebody with a right now.
Oh, dude, they had so many stealth drops.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Have you played The Last Remnant? Do you know much about it?
I have not played it. It was a 360 exclusive when it first launched. I heard it got kind of mediocre reviews though, but I think that was more due to the limitations of the 360. I'm not gonna get it because it's like I think $20 and it's a digital only. But if it came down to $10, I'd be willing to drop $10 and try it out. It looked interesting. It's like you fight giant wars and all that in the background, but you can only control like a few characters. I think it's turn based. I couldn't tell you. I just remember it got a lot of hype back in the day, but didn't quite deliver.
Very cool, very cool. And anytime they do the available nows, that's pretty hot. So moving on from that, Dragon Quest Builders 2, they showed, it was more of a CGI trailer. There was it, but they sped it up. It seemed like it was faster gameplay, so there wasn't a whole lot to see, but it's like Dragon Quest Minecraft, I guess.
It's Minecraft mixed with like a top-down action RPG.
That sounds really cool.
Apparently the first one's very well received. It's not something I'm interested in at all, but a lot of people are looking forward to this, and it looks kind of neat. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I just don't care about the building aspects and all that. But I think it's cool they added an RPG element. So that's going to be a nice little drop there.
Yeah, absolutely. They didn't have a time for it, but it should be coming. I would say it seems like it would be something that would come this year. I don't see why it wouldn't, but we'll see. Keep an eye on it.
It looked pretty done to me. So
yeah, me too. We saw Dragon Quest XI Echo. No, that's going to be a lot to say. Echoes of Illusion Definitive Edition S.
Elusive Age.
The Elusive
Echoes
Age.
of Elusive Age.
Oh, excuse me. Yes, Echoes of the Elusive Age Definitive Edition S.
Don't you dare mispronounce my favorite game of last year. The game that was superior to God of War.
Do you know what's coming into this edition? Is it just everything in one game, like all the DLC and stuff?
Well, there was no DLC for it, but it will have, from what I've heard, it's going to have, I think, a few more, like, maybe like story side quests. And they're adding a mode where you can switch the entire game over to 16-bit on the fly, which looked really neat. So basically, it goes from being a modern RPG to a Super Nintendo RPG. Just boom, click a switch. Which
nice, very
super cool.
Very cool.
That I might actually. I told myself I wasn't gonna get this for the Switch because I've already beaten on the PS4. But man, that looked really neat. I might pick that up.
Do it.
Yeah. be great to play on the go. This would be perfect for the Switch.
The Plane Trainer Automobile.
Or on the toilet.
Or on the toilet. That's where it mostly gets played. Upstairs, downstairs.
In the garage.
We saw a cartoon-style racing game, but you need strategy in this one. You need to plan your pit out. It's Circuit Supercars coming to the Switch in 2020.
That didn't do anything for me.
It looked like a fun little car driving game. I mean, I don't. They're usually not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not going to be. It's not going to be. It's not going to be Super Mario Kart, but you know. Battalion 1944 Eastern Front's first-person shooter military game looked a lot like a Battlefield clone with heavy focus on competitive gameplay. It's available right now on Steam. I like this because they don't usually do shooting games, so it's kind of outside their normal stuff.
Probably more of the Enix side of the merger there.
Okay.
Yeah, I would guess. I don't know.
It didn't say. It's just I just thought, this a shooting game from Square Enix. That's a little different.
It looked kind of like a PS2 game though.
It did. It's running on an older engine. It looks a lot like maybe like a Battlefield 4, Battlefield 3, something like that. We saw that Square Enix is going to make their music available on all major platforms. So I guess Apple, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher. I mean, all the big ones. Probably not Stitcher because that's just podcast, but Spotify, iHeartRadio, all those other ones. Jeremy, I know you're a big soundtrack guy, so this will be perfect for you.
Dude, they have amazing soundtracks. Like almost all my favorite soundtracks are from Square Enix, so that's a win-win.
We saw Kingdom Hearts Remind, RE-Mind. First DLC coming this winter. Unfortunately, no gameplay. We just saw a trailer.
They were just there to remind you that it's on its way.
Carmin, you picking up the DLC?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I platinum the game, so I'm going to play the DLC. It's probably just stuff that they cut out that they just decided not to put in. And then they'll spin a little story around it and blah, 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 here you go.
I'm sure it'll be confusing as shit.
Yes,
Sora will still have big shoes, and that's all that matters.
Clown shoes. Final Fantasy XIV Online. Showing off the Shadowbringers DLC, which is the third expansion, releases July 2nd. We saw a world premiere launch trailer, no gameplay, but they talk about more content and 2 new races coming in this DLC. So if you're a Final Fantasy Online player, go. And when they came out and started talking about this, there was a lot of praise in the audience. Like, they were going wild for this. So apparently it's Final Fantasy Online's kind of big. I didn't realize that.
It's actually very popular. It's a very popular online RPG. It's not something I've ever gotten into because it's just not, again, I don't like online games, but it's got a huge fan base. So this is big news for them.
Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, the crowd went wild when this came out. More Dying Light 2 trailers. No gameplay. We saw Romancing Saga 3. Jeremy, do you know what this is? I have no idea what it is.
It's an RPG series. I don't know too much about it. I want to say it was based on like Chinese warfare. I might be wrong. Or am I thinking of... this might have been something that was on the PS1 and the Super Nintendo. If this is what I'm thinking of, I think this was like a 16-bit RPG on the Super Nintendo. Yeah, and then they had one on the PS1 called Saga Frontier. They're like these RPGs where they span generations, and you play as like different people at different times and so forth. They're kind of neat. Something I'd check out.
Very cool, very cool. Yeah, I had no idea what it was, but I knew there was 2 of them before, so they got to be doing something right.
I think these are like remakes of these old games for modern consoles.
Okay, very cool, very cool.
Yeah.
Now, since I've got you, Jeremy, you're probably our resident Final Fantasy expert.
Yeah.
What is the Final Fantasy Brave Exvius world?
That's an online. That's not online. That's a mobile game.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they came up, a new title from the Final Fantasy Brave Exvius universe, World of the Visions, is coming, and again, it was just a trailer. And I made a point to make in bold letters here. There's not much gameplay beyond the Final Fantasy remake that we've seen at this point.
I think they did. There's something I've noticed is I think a lot of these companies now they're releasing gameplay trailers online afterwards, because that's where I've been seeing a lot of the gameplay trailers at.
Maybe, yeah, they're keeping it for the people who are actually there at the show.
Which again, I think it's dumb to do that. Just show it. Show me some gameplay.
A little teaser. At least show us some gameplay and then have more
Yeah.
for the people there.
Yeah.
The next thing we see is Outriders, coming summer 2020. A modern shooter with a strong story you can enjoy with a friend or on your own. There's some cool looking guns and monsters. They have those. If I can remember to correctly describe them, it was very much like the monsters look like Doom kind of monsters, and then the guns were like they had like brown alien armor on them and things like that. It was very sci-fi alien type shooter. We saw Onikaki?
Onikaki.
August 2019, a colorful game in the same style as most Square games you see. So like that Japanese, again, I always equate it to some reason in my head to like a dot hack or sword art, that kind of thing. But yeah, Onikaki.
I own a pair of khakis.
Okay, well, so do I. August 2019, we'll figure it out. Bam! It goes dark, and across the screen it flashes to the fans who have been waiting. And then the bomb drops. Final Fantasy VIII Remaster coming this year to all consoles.
I'm stoked for that.
I'll be getting it, even though it's one of my least favorite Final Fantasies.
Really?
Yeah, I've only ever beaten it once. The story's decent, but it's a bit convoluted. I don't like the leveling system in it, where leveling up's kind of pointless. I don't like upgrading the weapons with magazines. I thought that was weird. It's really reliant on summons. I don't like the salary system, but I'll
you
definitely
always cheat the salary system. Come on, Jeremy.
But I'm definitely gonna get it because I just gotta have all my Final Fantasies on every system available. So
it's one of my favorites.
And I'll play it. Oh, it's weird. Like Final Fantasy VIII is like one of the most divisive ones. It's either everyone's favorite or it's their least favorite.
It's number 2 for me.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people put it number 1, number 2, and then I see these exact same other people put it like at the very bottom, next to the very bottom. It's towards the bottom for me, but it's still better than the NES Final Fantasies or the onlines. So,
well, I've never played Final Fantasy VIII, so I'm definitely gonna get it.
Well,
it's worth playing.
Then don't cheat the the currency system. You just get your job, take your test, and see how you do, bud.
Okay, all right. Now I do that, I'm gonna have to figure out what's going on.
But you have to take these tests to get your job better, like to have a better job and get more money.
Yeah, you don't get money from killing enemies. You actually get a salary because you're like a mercenary, and the better you do in game, the higher your salary goes up. And the worse you do, the more it goes down. So,
but it's like you have to take like the SAT.
Yes.
Okay, that's
like 10. It's 10 questions, and it like basically determines your whole fate.
All right, well that'll be fun. I'll just Google what I should put in.
No,
there you go.
You take the test like a normal boy. That's what I just said.
Yeah.
Listen to me, Linda. Look, you're already gonna fail the test.
I'm not a caveman. I've got Google at my fingertips right now.
Dude, when I played this game back on the PS1, we didn't have no internet.
I know, but we do now. It's the magic of the internet, Jeremy.
And I got a C, and you will get a C minus or a D plus.
And you got paid shit all.
Yes, I got
I'm pretty sure if you got 10 out of 10, you got like 10,000.
I got like maybe 1,000 gall.
Oh my god.
Or gil, or however much the average. Yeah.
So that's cool. So we saw 2 major Final Fantasy announcements. And then, when we thought it was going to be over, it wasn't over.
The confusion hits Cam right in his face.
Like, what the fuck am I doing? So I'm looking at this game, I'm like, why are they showing Ultimate Alliance 3, right? That's not Square Enix. What the fuck's going on here? Fucking Marvel Avengers. Square Enix has somehow kept this game, like, Carmin said he knew about it. I had not remembered it.
Oh yeah, they announced it. They announced it a long time ago.
I must have just been under a rock. I don't fucking.
And we talked about it on 2 episodes ago.
They just didn't. They didn't say what kind of game it was. They just said they were working on it. It was just called Untitled Avengers game.
Maybe I remember that. I don't recall.
It's okay.
So they announced it. They showed us footage of it, gameplay footage, not gameplay. Excuse me, trailer footage of it. We saw Iron Man, Thor, Cap, Black Widow, the Hulk. We got a major all-star cast for voice actors. We've got Troy Baker playing the Hulk, Bruce Banner. We've got Laura Bailey playing Black Widow. We've got Nolan North playing
yeah.
none other than Tony Stark.
Dude, he is made for that right there.
Yeah, I agree. He's perfect.
He
and then we
is.
got Travis Willingham for Thor, and we've got Jeff Shine as Cap. So, huge on the voice actors. Then they say later that there's no additional cost for all the heroes that are coming, no loot boxes, no pay to win, full stories. This game drops May 15th, 2020.
One day before my birthday.
So huge here. They're partnering with PlayStation for early access. There's a beta coming out. I put June 4th here, but that can't be right. There's a beta coming out early and exclusive content on the PlayStation. Crystal Dynamics is doing the game. It looks really good. People are actually complaining about the style of the characters, and in my mind, I like it because I don't want to go with what the movies are. Let's get our own take of this. Like, let's get something new.
Yeah, I thought they looked good.
I did too. Know? One article even said Crystal Dynamics has never seen Thor.
He looked good.
I thought they looked good. What do you think, Carl? How do they look to you?
I thought the game looked fucking amazing.
Yeah.
The fucking characters looked drawn really well.
Yeah.
They did really good.
The animations were fantastic. The graphics were great.
I think it will I think it will lose its shine though. Like, it will look good, but the gameplay will get old because it's like you're going to be doing the same moves over and over with the same characters.
I will say I do have one concern because I've been hearing online that this might be like an online only game, which does have some concerns for me.
It might be what? I didn't hear what that part you said.
I was saying I've heard online that this might be an online only game, which gives me some concern.
I hope not. I hope it's like a couch co-op.
Or at the very least have a single player option,
For sure.
Yeah.
It needs to have a single player option.
Yeah.
But
this is definitely on my radar.
Yes. And I didn't, again, this is kind of hit hard. I was like, holy fuck, this is great. Oh man, this is awesome.
I could have sworn they mixed some gameplay in there too, because it looked like gameplay when the Hulk was on that bridge just smashing shit and kicking people.
There may have been gameplay, but if it was that scripted gameplay with no like HUDs on there.
Yeah, I think So
it's kind of hard to discern, but there could have been some gameplay mixed in.
Yeah. I'm hoping there was, because it looked really good.
But again, we don't know anything about the game. We don't know how it runs, what you're doing, anything like
true.
that. And that was it for Square. Square brought the hammer down this year. I mean, they brought the pain.
They brought Mjolnir down and just fucking... God, that was great. That was far and away the best E3 they have done since I can remember.
Yes.
I really can't remember last time they'd done this well.
It's been a while.
It's been a long while. I mean, they brought the games. They didn't bullshit around. They had a few surprises. I was so happy with them. Really getting my hopes up. It's a little premature, but they won E3 for me, but just barely. Someone else did really, really, really good also.
Yes, we're coming to the end of the road here. Tuesday, Nintendo wrapped up the press conferences. And I was one who just thought, Nintendo usually going to phone it in like usual. I was in for a rude awakening.
Oh, me too, man. I thought that they were going to pull a Square Enix, just go, we got a little DLC for Mario or some shit.
Yeah, that didn't happen, Jeremy.
No, it did not.
All right, let's get into it. The first thing they open up with, huge, Super Smash Cross Dragon Quest. That's right, the Dragon Quest characters are coming this year, 2019, to Super Smash. We don't know how many, but it looked like, 4 or 5?
It's one character, but I think it's going to be a bunch of different skins.
Okay, that makes sense.
But still, I'm downloading him, so fuck yeah.
Then they announced again Dragon Quest XI Echoes of the Elusive Age Definitive Edition S. Saw a little bit more of that. Then they introduced Doug Bowser, the new CEO of Nintendo of America. And of course, they did this little skit where the real Bowser came out first. And they're like, no, we don't want you. Yada, yada, yada. A little cringy, but still at the same time cute.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll let him slide.
Doug Bowser has a better on-screen presence than Reggie does, in my opinion.
Really?
I thought he did good. Yeah. But he brought us in, to Luigi's Mansion 3. And we actually got to see some gameplay, and they made a point to show us the stuff that Luigi can do. They showed us the slam move. They showed us the suction shot where you shoot out a plunger and attacks it and he slings shit over his head. They showed us his burst move, which is an AoE burst of air. They also showed our trusty companion, Gooigi, It's almost goofy to say. The green blob, Guiji, your homie who can walk on spikes, go through walls.
It's all about that goo, baby.
Yep,
Yeah.
He is a green goo. You can play, if your friend wants to pick up, he can just play as Guiji with you. So Luigi and Guiji at it again.
I just like to imagine that Guiji is like that episode of Rick and Morty where they got with that spa and had their fucking toxins taken out.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck you, Mario, you fucking a peach. I fucking hurt. I'm fucking to kill you.
It's a little weird. Guiji's a little weird, but hey, whatever. There's a scare scraper mode, so this is going to be an 8-player local or online co-op. And what you're trying to do is you're at a skyscraper, essentially, and you got to defeat all the ghosts before the time runs out. Game looked really good, really fun.
Oh, it's a grab for me.
I like Luigi's Mansion. I never got too into it. This could be one that I'm definitely. This is the one I'm looking most forward to.
I've never had a chance to play the original, but I have the sequel on the 3DS. I didn't pick up the remake on the 3DS because I heard it was trash. But I'm definitely really interested in this, and I plan to get it.
I agree. Right there with you. We saw well, let's start. Let me backtrack. If you don't know, there's a small movie from the creator of the Muppets that kind of got a cult following. Really
I love
cool.
This movie.
It's called Dark Crystal.
Yep.
It's a very different style than what Jim Davis used to do.
Jim Henson,
excuse me. It's like this dark, mythical, medieval style.
Dark fantasy.
Yeah. So Netflix picked it up. They're making a new one.
And it looks awesome.
It does look pretty cool. So they're making a game based on this movie. It's the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance Tactics. So it's going to be a tactics game. No gameplay there, but if you've ever played like Final Fantasy Tactics, you kind of get an idea of how it's going to play.
I did see gameplay of it. They had it on the Switch shop, like a little trailer for it. Graphics are kind of low end, but it still looks interesting to me. Like I might pick this up if it's cheap.
Cool. I haven't seen any gameplay of it yet. The only gameplay I've actually seen is from our next game, and that is the new Zelda. Well, not new, but the new Zelda game that they showed some more. But it's the Link's Awakening remake.
Oh yes.
The coolest part here is when you go through the game, you create you get awarded tiles, and there's a dungeon system to where you can build your own dungeon by arranging these tiles and dungeon crawl them. It's really cool.
That's a neat add-on. It's not something I'm really gonna get into, but this game is still looking sweet as shit.
Yeah, it looks really sweet. The graphics look great.
Yeah.
I was watching it and just thinking about when I was a kid playing it, and like, oh, I remember that. I know I've said before, I think that The Legend of Zelda is one of the most overrated franchises, but this is my probably second favorite Zelda game. This
is my absolute favorite in terms of like the top-down Zeldas, the classic style.
Right.
So this was like high up there. This is like maybe I want to say my third favorite.
Very cool. High up there. Well, it's coming out this year, September 20th.
Hell yeah.
2019. It was cool because I watched some of the Nintendo Treehouse afterwards. And the guy that was hosting it had made a dungeon, and he went through, and his time was 10 minutes. And the director for Link's Awakening remake, he's like, put him on the spot, like, play this. And he beat it in like 3 minutes or 4 minutes. That's great. After saying he wasn't that good of a gamer. So we've got action RPG Trials of Mana releasing on the Switch, early 2020. And along with it, is going to be the Collection of Mana. Now, the Trials of Mana, I think, is a remake.
It's a remake of Sekindetsu 3, which is the third Sword of Mana game, which we never got in America. So I'm looking forward to that.
Now, the collection, that's going to be available, too. It's going to have the 3 original titles, Final Fantasy, Trials, and Secret.
It's available today.
Okay.
Or it was available. It's already. I already looked online for it. It's got Final Fantasy: The Adventure, which is the original Sword of Mana. Secret of Mana, and then Sekindetsu 3, which again, the first time this was made available in America. I was gonna download it, but it's $40 for 3 games, which I'm like, that's a bit high.
That clears up because I wasn't sure. I knew that the Trials of Mana wasn't just the Trials of Mana, but I didn't know what game it was.
That's probably what they're calling the third game. I would really love to get that Collection of Mana, but that's just too expensive. If they could drop that down to 20, that'd be perfect.
I like it. I want to play this, but I don't know if I'll buy it for $40 either.
Well, you've got the Secret of Mana on your SNES Classic, so
Yeah, absolutely. I've never played Final Fantasy Adventures. I don't think though.
It's just a Game Boy version of Secret of Mana, basically. It plays the exact same Secret of Mana. It's just the Game Boy.
Okay.
So yeah, it's not actually a Final Fantasy game. They just threw that on there just to sell more copies in America.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a decent game, but you're really coming for the last two if you're getting that collection.
The actual Mana games.
Yeah, the Super Nintendo games.
After that, they showed us the Witcher 3 Wild Hunt coming to the Switch. Pretty ambitious game. Pretty cool announcement. I mean, it's cool that you can get it there. But I actually later heard some specs. In handheld mode, it's only going to run at 540. And dock mode is going to run at 720. Yeah,
I knew they were going to have to gimp the shit out of this to get this to run.
Yeah, of course they would. This is not going to be the best place to play.
Necessary to bring it. Like, why? Why does it need to be on the Switch?
Because everything has to be on the Switch, apparently.
Yeah, this isn't a good move. The game's gonna probably run like dog shit.
I've already heard people going, the Switch is the perfect system for it, because I can just do side quests and so forth. I'm like, it's gonna run like 10 frames per second and look like dog shit.
Have fun, boys.
Yeah.
The Witcher didn't grab me at all anyway, so I understand all the accolades behind it and yada yada yada, just it didn't get me. Fire Emblem 3 Houses, a giant class reunion apparently. They meet after 5 years and have to fight together again. No gameplay, only a trailer that's coming out July 26th of this year.
You mean next year? Oh, this year? Holy shit.
July 26th, 2019.
Okay. Wow. Well, there's gameplay of it online. It just doesn't look... It looks, even for a Fire Emblem game, it looks kind of bland.
We saw there's going to be 2 more Resident Evil titles coming to the Switch.
Which, those would be... What they announced, 5 and 6?
They had 5 and one other one, and I couldn't get it in time, so I didn't put it
5. I think it's 5 and 6, which are 2 of the weaker titles. And while these play fine on the Switch, Capcom is overcharging the fuck out of them. They're $30 a piece. You get them for $20 a piece on the PS4 or the Xbox.
Are they just ported over?
They're the exact same
special?
versions. Nothing. They're the exact same versions on the PS4 and Xbox. You're just paying $10 extra for each one because they're on the Switch.
Huh.
Yeah.
That sucks.
It's a ripoff. Unless you absolutely have to have these on the Switch, there's no reason to get these.
I probably won't get it. I just thought it was cool they're putting more Resident Evil on there.
Oh yeah, I think it's cool too, but I'm not touching these.
Next thing we see is No More Heroes 3 featuring Travis Touchdown. Some of the cheesiest dialogue I've ever seen in a video game. But it looked badass. It's like, apparently there's no more heroes in the world, and he's the hero. So, he's like a douchebag who wears sunglasses and shit like that.
I think he's like a hero for hire or something.
Yeah. That's basically what he does.
He fights with like a lightsaber and so forth. The first 2 were well received.
I've actually never heard of it, so it's kind of cool seeing it.
They were on the Wii.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I didn't have the Wii.
Yeah, one of the few mature games on there. It's got a really cool style. I love Suda51, who does this. But it's not my kind of game, really.
I probably won't pick it up. I just thought it looked kind of cool, and I thought
it's
cheesy dialogue was good, and
it's neat and it's really cool. This is a good move for Nintendo to have another one.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We saw dun 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 battle aliens, kill everything, save the world, Contra Rogue Corps coming September 2019. Yes,
that's a big announcement.
A new Contra coming this year.
But you know what? I watched the trailer before this started, and I wasn't impressed.
Well, look, now what I saw at E3 looked good. Did you see a gameplay trailer or is it a CGI trailer?
I saw a gameplay trailer. Did you see a CGI trailer?
There's a CGI trailer.
The gameplay doesn't look like Contra. Like, it looks like just kind of like a typical like top-down shooter. Contra was like a side-scrolling shooter. The characters look neat, but the graphics look real basic and just kind of standard. Like, you might want to check out gameplay footage before you get a little too excited. You might like it. I don't know, but I was interested. I was hyped. I was like, oh, cool, new Contra. And I looked at it, I was like, like maybe for 20, maybe.
I'm trying to find the trailer right now. I'm on my phone.
Well, they also announced the Anniversary Collection, which is available right now. So you can go pick that up. I'm not sure what all comes in that. Jeremy, do you know?
Yeah, it's got like Contra and Super C, and it's got a fairly good amount of games in there. But unfortunately, like it's got 3 versions of the same Contra. It's got the American version, the Japanese version, and the European version, which is the exact same, but they just make them robots. So it's kind of a wasted potential there, but still not a bad price. But I'm not getting that $20. I've asked you for Castlevania the Contra, and maybe if they drop that $10, I'd check it out.
Very cool. Very cool.
Okay, I see what you're talking about with the gameplay, Jeremy. It's a little like it's kind of open worldy, like to where like it's it's got 3 axes. You know, it's a side scroller, but it's kind of like Devil May Cry, but on wheels and less on rails, like, and you're stuck in a certain spot.
Yeah,
and it's zoomed out a lot more, obviously, and less involved. But yeah, that's what it kind of reminds me of.
I'll look at it when we get off the show here and see what I think about it. We got Daemon X Machina, and this was one of the cool games I saw that I really liked. It's kind of it reminds me of Gundam. They've got like these Gundam-looking suits, and they were kind of fighting above like some water, a battleship or something. So it was obviously it was CGI trailered, but it was coming this year. And yeah, I love Gundam. So anytime you get even somewhere near that, I'm kind of hooked.
I do too, but I just really don't dig like the graphical style of this. It's got like this real cel shaded red and black thing going on.
I actually like that cel shaded look of it. I did. I remember liking that.
I mean, it could be decent, but it didn't grab me, unfortunately, which sucks because it's kind of a game I would get into. But I'll wait and look and see some reviews.
Well, if you didn't like that, there's no way you're going to like the next game. They're just remaking Panzer Dragoon.
Oh, man, this was out of nowhere.
It was what nobody knew about.
Yeah. That's like the most coveted Sega Saturn game out there. It's kind of like a mix between like an on-rails shooter with an RPG, riding dragons, like killing shit, and then like leveling up. There's actually like a story. I never got a chance to play it, but it's apparently really, really good. It has a huge cult following. This is definitely on my radar. I'm gonna check this out when it comes to Switch.
It's coming this winter. So we'll have it this year.
Winter is coming.
Winter is coming. There's a bunch of stuff coming out in winter. That's gonna be pretty cool. We got some Sword and Shield news. They talked about you can use your Pokeball Plus accessory. You can spend quality time with your favorite Pokemon, taking them on the go, and something good may happen. They had a lot of gameplay right after the Nintendo Direct at the Treehouse. Again, showing off some of the stuff we've already seen. They showed some of the Dynamaxed, or I think that's what they're called, Dynamaxed Pokemon. Those are cool. This looks like we talked about last week, really good looking version of Pokemon. First Pokemon proper on the Switch. Very excited for this.
It's the handheld killer.
You think so?
Yeah. It's one of the only things that keeps the DS alive.
Oh, so you think this is going to kill the 3DS then?
Yeah, this kills the 3DS.
I can see that. Yeah, I think they're done with 3DS.
It's one of the
anyway.
only reasons to get a 3DS is Pokemon. And, I mean, this game looks good. I'm getting it day one. Since Cam already called dibs on Shield, I'm going to get Sword.
I like the Shield beard, man. What can I say?
So did I. You fucking cunt. I shouldn't have asked you. I should have just told you.
You asked me first. I
was being a gentleman.
You're never a gentleman. You did it one time and you lost.
Well, can't you guys trade and you give him like a shield, whatever, and you give him a sword, whatever?
Yeah, we could.
But the Pokemon in the world are different too, Jeremy.
I know, but you'll still get the same ones.
No.
Well, he'll trade you. He'll give you whatever your.
The question is, Jeremy, are you going to get it? Is this enough to make you get it?
No.
Do it, Jeremy.
I was really hoping it would be.
Dude,
if you just buy Sword, then I can buy Shield.
I'm never getting into Pokemon. It just does nothing for me.
I was hoping this would be it.
It's either this or Destiny. Which one?
It's neither. It's gonna be more secular.
Jeremy quits gaming if those are the only two options.
Dude, I would have to.
Jeremy's going to quit gaming if those are the only two games. And he's going to quit gaming if there's no console.
I was going to say, and they're only available through streaming.
What else do we have? We had probably my favorite game in the Nintendo.
Is it Ouch My Balls?
No, it's not Ouch My Balls. But it's this game called Astral Chain. It's coming out August 30th, but overall, in the world, there's chimeras. They're demons that you can fight and capture. And what you essentially do with them is your demons fight other demons. So, what's that anime, Jeremy, where you control like the old medieval characters and they fight each other? Like somebody has like Arthur and somebody has like a ninja. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like they're spirits, and they end up like they fight them in an arena, and they have to choose to help you, and they fight for like glory, I guess. I don't know.
Was that Shaman something or other?
Maybe, but there's an anime that reminded me of that. So you're like real humans, but you control your chimera, and then your chimera will fight other humans' chimeras or other chimeras, and then that's how you take them over. It looked really cool from what I saw.
So it's kind of like Pokemon.
Yes, yeah. I guess you sync them with you and fight in an arena. I guess, yeah. Looked cool. I really like this game. This game piqued my interest a lot. So I'm going to keep an eye on it as soon as I see some more stuff about it. Maybe some gameplay that I can actually know a little bit more what's going on. The next thing we saw was a top-down noir-style shoot-'em-up Empire of Sin. It has a black and white color palette, so it's one of those artistic top-down shoot-'em-ups coming in spring of 2020. We saw some more Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. The gameplay looks okay. Pretty good. Ghost Rider looked really badass. And it's coming out July 2019. We've got, obviously, the Olympics are coming in 2020. So to celebrate, we're having a Sonic Cross Nintendo 2020 Olympic character game, all online. Mario and Sonic Olympics. That's pretty cool.
It's all online?
That's what they said.
That.
Yep, that's what they said.
Yuck.
So they're doing that to celebrate the Olympics. Kind of cool. But, I'm just happy that Goku's part of the Olympics this year. Next year.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Japan.
Yep. There was a super boring Animal Crossing trailer, and I mean fucking boring.
Dude, people love Animal Crossing.
Yeah, they do, and I don't get it. But they're launching it this year. They push it back to next year. But the game looked boring. I mean,
It's essentially just Nintendo Sims. That's all it is. But goddamn, people fucking eat that shit up. Like, they were pissed that it was pushed back. Their stocks dropped because it was pushed back to next year. I'm like, really? This?
I don't want to yuck people's yum. I just don't get this game.
I don't get the appeal of it. Because it's literally, there's nothing. It's just, hey, you farm. Hey, you got mail. Hey, let's go fish. Hey, let's go talk to people. Okay.
So, yeah, people are pissed it's pushed back. It's pushed back to next year to make it better. So, following that, we have a sizzle reel. What's happening in 2019 and beyond? And I actually caught this sizzle reel. I was ready for it. So we got Spyro, Silk Song, Ni no Kuni, Minecraft Dungeon, Skyrim Blades, My Friend Pedro, Doom Eternal, The Sinking City, Wolfenstein Youngblood, Alien Isolation, Dragon Quest Builders 2, Just Dance 2020, Catan, Super Lucky's Tale, Dauntless, and Mario Maker 2.
Look forward to that Mario Maker.
Those are some really good games.
Reel. Yeah.
I might buy Spyro for the Switch instead of the PlayStation.
I'm thinking Spyro. I'm thinking Dragon Quest Builders. I'm thinking Mario Maker 2, and Skyrim Blades. I'm
definitely getting Mario Maker 2 and Zelda.
You're not going to get Ni no Kuni?
I was telling Cam, it's just, I didn't care for the original. I like the second one much better. First one's nice looking, but I got bored with it real quick. I didn't care for the combat.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
So after this, we cut to a really cool cartoon. Picture this. You're laying in a hut. It's Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, King K. Rool. They're all sleeping, and they hear something outside, right? They run to a window, and they look, and they can't really make it out. Is that fucking Banjo and Kazooie? No, it's not. It's fucking Duck Hunt. He's just chilling out there.
Such an epic troll.
Being an asshole, right? All of a sudden, from the sky raining down, you see Banjo-Kazooie coming down, and you see this fall coming to Smash. And it's Smash, Cross, Banjo, and Kazooie coming to Smash this year. Man, and the place went wild. If that would have been an actual press conference, they would have went balls to the wall.
Dude, that was so fucking epic. I was just like, oh, yes.
Yeah, that's really cool that they were able to team up with Microsoft and Rare and get that collaboration.
Yes. And they fit so well into Smash. You know, they just they were classic N64. And I think we were talking about this earlier, but I'm really hoping this means that maybe we'll get the Banjo-Kazooie 1 and 2 games on the Switch. Maybe some remasters of them.
The real question is a Banjo-Kazooie game in development, and that's why they're like bringing back the sprite.
That would be awesome. I just hope it's an actual Banjo-Kazooie game and not nuts and bolts.
No, I'm talking proper. Like it needs to be
Banjo
done proper.
3E.
Yeah, I don't think you're too far off base with that, Carmen. I could definitely get on board with that.
Yeah, like start hyping it up. So throw it in Smash, remaster the first two or remake them, and then give you a brand new game.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Hit us with the trilogy where it's a full remake of the first two and then a brand new third game. Rare, Microsoft, do it. I'll buy an Xbox.
There you go.
Jesus, there you go. Strong words right there. And if you do it,
I can play some of those other games that I'm on the edge on.
Last but not least, you thought that was it, and they said, no, the fuck it's not. We have to leave you with one more thing. And then they cut to this CGI trailer, and you see Link, and you see Princess Zelda, and they're in this deep cave, lanterns up, and something comes after them, and it cuts to black. The sequel to Breath of the Wild is now in development.
Yeah, a lot of people did not see that coming.
Hell no.
No.
Myself included. They almost
saying that is the announcement of E3.
Like I don't think they ever do direct sequels to a Zelda title.
They never have.
Majora's Mask, I think, was the closest. It was kind of like a direct sequel to 64 or Ocarina of Time. I mean,
you want to know what this is? Nintendo. This is Nintendo's plan. This is bold. They're gonna let everybody move into next gen. Sony, Microsoft. You know, they're all gonna make their jump. This sequel wins Game of the Year over brand new, top of the line consoles.
Well, I can see that because a lot of launch titles suck. You know, Breath of the Wild was like
they're gonna bring some heat.
Rarity.
Within the first year, they're gonna bring some heat. They're gonna bring some contender.
I could see that with like Xbox because of Halo and all that, but I don't know about Sony's. They have nothing announced, unless they have like some secret games they're working on.
Of course they do, Jeremy.
I'm just saying some secret like Last of Us 3 or some shit.
But that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna say that they want to show that they can compete on their current console with whatever's coming out, and this is the game to do it with.
I can get behind that because the Switch is still fresh.
Yeah,
I don't think, and it's still selling really well. So there's no need to make a new console yet.
Yeah, no, they're not gonna make the jump. They're gonna try to fight as long as they can with what they have.
I expect Microsoft to kill it with their launch title, like you were saying, Jerry Bear, and then Sony. I don't know what they launch with. I mean, do they launch with?
Dude, if they're smart,
I don't know.
They launch with a God of War sequel for PS5.
Yeah.
Oh, that's bold.
Yeah. I say that'd be fucking amazing if they do. Maybe they're secretly working on it. God of War, Ride the Thunder, Fight Thor.
It's hard to say. I mean, they could revive, and I don't know what kind of market it has. I know it was good big for them on the PlayStation 3, but what about Resistance?
It was a fucking flop. Resistance was a flop.
Did it flop?
It didn't flop. They made 3 of them, but it was definitely no Halo. It wasn't even a Killzone.
Like
it was just decent.
How many people are still talking about it?
There you go.
Nobody. The game
that's why
it was blah. It was meh. It was just another shooter.
It was 7 out of 10. That's what it was.
That's generous.
Yeah, I thought the first one was good. The second one I thought was actually really good. The third one was just
I remember really enjoying them. I don't know what kind of star power they had. I just thought they were pretty well.
Well, it was made by
enjoy
Insomniac.
bad games.
Yeah, so Resistance: Fall of Man has a 86 on Metacritic. Resistance 2, let's see here. Old Google wormhole to end the night. Resistance 2 has an 87 on Metacritic.
The end all be all.
Resistance 3 has an 83 on Metacritic.
See? All mad solid reviews.
Yeah. User scores were all in the 8s or high 7s.
Yeah. So they were just good games, but they haven't done anything with it.
It just fell flat. It's just another one of those types of games.
I can agree with that too.
I don't think they need to revive that. It wasn't a good launch title to begin with.
That's what I was gonna say. It's just it'd be fine if they brought it back, but it's not gonna sell PS5s.
Yeah, no.
They're gonna. That's what I said.
A launch title for the PS5 will be a new Killzone, guaranteed. It's par for the course.
I thought they said they're not making any more Killzones after Shadowfall. Guerrilla's like giving it up.
I'm sure.
They said they weren't going to do it for a long time.
Oh, maybe they do another Zero Horizon for the PS5.
Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn. That would be
Horizon
cool.
Zero Dawn. Yeah.
Who knows? I thought that to talk, since we're on Sony just for a second, I honestly thought Sony was going to be cocksuckers and be like, we're holding a conference on the roof of this building 3 miles away from the conference center. And, like, it was going to, like, turn the fucking show on its head. Because imagine if they did that during Microsoft's conference. Like, they just immediately tweeted out and they were like, we have something going on, blah, blah, blah. Like, IGN, GameSpot, all those people would have to be like, get the fuck out of there. Like, you need to get in this car right now and go to this fucking building and get on that roof.
That would have been amazing.
It's like back in the WCW and WWE days when the WCW took over the WWE took over WCW. Drove a fucking tank up there. They're just like, get the fuck out.
Yeah. Like, imagine if they did that shit. Like, they were just like, we're having a conference. It's just not at the Staples Center.
They're like, hey, we have the PS5. We're going to show it.
Yeah, so that shit would have been like, we're demoing PS5 right now. Come here. And then you get there and it's just the fucking trolls. Gotcha, bitch. We just didn't want Microsoft to do good.
Aha!
That would have been cool as fuck. No doubt.
Yeah, it would have been fucking hilarious.
I looked up where Resistance fell in PS3's game titles. It's the 20th best-selling game, and it beat out some cool games, but it's under a lot of the games too. So
you gotta think when the PS3 launched, it was just okay. The game library wasn't that good. Of course, it sold.
Oh, the PS3 library sucked. Resistance was the best game they had.
I mean,
at the beginning,
it outsold like the God of War collection, DMC 4, Killzone 2, Infamous, Call of Duty 4, Call of Duty World at War, Resident Evil 5, Heavenly Sword, Minecraft PS3 edition. It outsold some big names.
Yeah, but you can outsell a ton of titles and your game just fall flat. It's not about how many copies they sold.
I'm not going to bat for them. I was just saying because I was under the impression they were.
But you're using that as a point as to like this is like they should do it again. Like it's a moneymaker, no doubt. That's it.
Well, I think they should do it again. Let's get it back. Run it back.
Were we talking about Nintendo a minute ago?
Yes, we are at the end of E3. We have made it, and I am dragging.
I am too.
E3 is amazing. It's one of my favorite times of the year. I am glad they're doing another one, but it is on the decline. Microsoft will not be far behind Sony in not being there, I don't believe.
Only time will tell.
But I'm excited to come next year. It is going to be next year, June 9th, I believe, 9th through the 11th. So we'll see. That's all the E3 coverage we got. We're not going to do Super Fight because this is a hell of a long episode.
Before we move off of E3, I was just going to give a rundown of our consensus. We tallied up our scores for everybody. And we came up with Nintendo on top of E3, which was a super surprise. Followed by Square, Bethesda, Microsoft, Ubisoft, and then EA. Jeremy's list only slightly varies. He flip-flops Square and Nintendo, but on average, that was where we all fell.
Yeah. Although I would like to change my scores now and put the VR and PC at the top because that was an amazing 20 minutes of my life right there.
Yes, okay.
So, yes,
I joked around and gave Sony a 10 and put them on top even though they weren't there, and we got a few giggles out of our text.
Sony always gets 10. It don't matter. He gets 10. Sony gets 10 no matter what.
Look right. Out of your chairs. Everyone gets a 10.
I'm ready to go, Carmin. Get us out of here.
All right, boys. Do all that cool shit that you do on YouTube and the Twitters and all of that with your likes and your shares and your subscribes. And on that note, play on and stay.
Hella.
Average.
Good night.
Oh, shit. I forgot to record.